Hello, and welcome to Bergkamp Wonderland. My name's Jason, and I'll be your host for tonight. Unfortunately, Gim was called in sick, case of the man flu. Personally, I think it's more a case of swine flu. But hey-ho, let's hope he gets better soon. The picture he posted in the WhatsApp group was not pretty. So, on to tonight's guests. Well, not guests. First of all, we have Danny the GFP, the inspiration for Charlton and the Wheelies, the great 70s show. Daniel, how are you?
Is that inspiration or perspiration?
I'm not too sure, bro.
For a fat bloke, I don't sweat much.
Oh,
And when I do, the ladies love it.
Oh,
I feel like a fat, sweaty bloke.
Not good, there.
I'm very good, thank you for asking.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to tonight.
Certainly am. It's not like we've been sat here for an hour already, is it? And this
No,
is our third attempt at starting the show.
Oh, God. No, let's not go there. Let's not go there. Okay, next on the hit list. Well, last but not least, it's Dominic Nusk, the wallaby searching for maple leafs in Canada. How are you, Dom?
I'm very, very well. Very well.
Excellent.
I'm back from my adventures and ready to take over the podcast again.
Yeah. Now, as far as your adventures in South America and Latin America go, how's the selfie stick working for you, bro?
Quite well actually, as you saw on my little video montage I put together.
I got to be honest with you, I did enjoy Stevie the alpaca.
Yeah, got rejected by an alpaca. That was probably the low light of the trip.
No.
Where's this video?
On Facebook.
Oh, there you go. That's what I've not seen.
The low light was your football skills, bro. The highlight was your companion.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a little sneaky clip I put in there just for you. I think you probably know which one I'm talking about.
I know exactly which one you're on about. I was very, very impressed. To be fair, made my day. Your toilet habits on show to the world.
Yeah, well, you've got to show all aspects of travel, Jace. You can't just try to, pretty it up so everybody thinks that it's fantastic and roses. So, you got to show the nitty-gritty.
In all fairness, just to give the listeners a bit of a mental image of this, watch Trainspotting, and that'll just about sum it all up. Right, okay, yeah, that's all it is tonight. There's three of us, basically because nobody else can be bothered, or they're dying of the plague, like poor Gimli.
A bit like the Arsenal players at the moment.
More of that to come. Right, let's get this show on the road, Daniel.
Yes.
Let's kick off with Lone Watch.
Okay.
Dun.
Normally, Jason says, if I'm hosting, no fucking Lone Watch, but I'd already done it, so we have to do it. Anyway, this lot didn't play games. Damien Martinez of Wolves, he seems to always be a sub. Isaac Hayden and Chupa Apcom of Hull, both are in and out of the team, which is pointless them being there. Glenn Kamara, Southend, he's been sub once in the last 3 weeks. Zelalem of Rangers, I'll be wait. Thank you very much. But he's not played in 2 weeks, so covering 4 games. What the hell's going on? Matthew Debuchy, guess what? He's injured. Torn muscle. He's not played their last couple of games. Anyway, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, he's Ipswich Town. He's played twice this week. They beat Nottingham Forest 1-0. Came on at half-time, played right midfield. And then he played, they drew 2-2 away at Bolton. He came on as a sub. And he took the free kick, which they scored from to make it 2-0. But then he also fouled Wellington Silva that in the 97th minute that got Bolton the penalty, which they scored from to make it 2-2.
The
conspiracy.
Bastard, eh?
I had no idea about that until Chris told me all about it. So cheers, you cheeky pirate. Right then, Super John Terrell, 2 games, and he's started both of them. 1-0 home win over Hull. And he scored the only goal. That was last Thursday, I think, while we were doing the show. And there was 2-0 away loss at Blackburn Rovers. Both games he played in the Erzul Hull. Now, he is probably our most successful player out on loan at the moment. Wellington Silva, like I said earlier, he played in the game against Ipswich. He came on in the 91st minute. Managed to get a penalty to make it 2-2. Genius stuff. Wojciech Szczesny, he's played 2 games this week. They lost 2-0 away at Real Madrid, but there again, doesn't everybody in the Champions League. And they won 4-1 at home to Fiorentina. You ready? That is 7 straight Serie A wins for Roma. They're now up to 3rd. That's the kind of form. I think we should put a bid in for him. And I have been... hold on, next one is the under-21s. We beat Fulham 3-0 last night. We are now second in Division 2, only 2 points behind the leaders, and we have 3 games in hand. Tell you what, that's looking tasty. None of our injured players made a comeback, which could have been started 11 on that on its own. The under-18s, they lost 2-1 to Middlesbrough. Yassin Fortune scored our goal. That's in the league. The league is dead to us. But in the FA Youth Cup, they beat Liverpool 2-1 at Arsenal. And they are now through to the semi-final, and they're going to play Man City. Steffi Mavidi and Kaylin Hines got our goals. The ladies don't kick their season off until the 20th of March with an away game at Birmingham City ladies in the FA Cup. And for some reason, I don't know, I've been told to do Yaya Snogo last. So normally it would have been done just after Wellington Silver. Charlton were 24th in the Championship. They've now gone 2 games without losing, which, considering they're Charlton, that's one hell of a feat. He played in the 2-1 win over Brentford, where Yaya played the full 90 minutes, and then he played in the 0-0 home draw to MK Dons, the Scottish team, where he got a straight red in the 90th minute for violent conduct. Mr. Davis.
Yeah. Has anybody seen it?
Yes.
Dom, have you seen it?
Yeah, we had a little peek just before. It was probably the first thing he's got on target this season, isn't it?
Oh, hold up, he's got a hat-trick.
Oh, well, there you go.
And I think he got an assist
UFC
as
would have
well.
been proud of that. Tell you what, it was solid.
2 shots at it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's giving it a go, isn't he? What do you think, boys? I've seen a few tweets this week saying, oh, you should never come back to the club and what have you. Going back in my Arsenal memory, I remember Glenn Cockrell being sparked out by Paul Davis, the great Paul Davis. But Mr. Cockrell had said some rather shameful words towards Mr. Davis.
It was a bit of an Ian Wright, Peter Schmeichel situation all over again.
Yeah. So, Cockrell got what he deserved. Your thoughts on Yaya's behaviour?
Not good.
Well, yeah, you never like to see that, do you? You know.
Unless he's playing against Spurs and he'd have elbowed Alderweireld in the face and he wouldn't have equalised, and then he would have been stretched off and out for the rest of the season.
Yeah, showed a bit of fight, showed a bit of backbone, didn't he? Nice to see. I don't know, I shouldn't laugh, but it's not the first time an Arsenal player has done this sort of thing. You don't know what was said. It's
not very much by the look of it.
No, you worried about it looked like the other guy just gave him a bit of a nudge and he just retaliated by knocking him out.
Should we be worried about Sonogo's elbow, Dom? Is it going to be okay?
Well, he might miss 2 or 3, but I don't think that's because of the elbow injury.
He might miss 4 or 5, actually.
Oh, especially if they can add, if it's violent contact, that's 3 games straight away, and then they might add more on for violent conduct because that is very bad.
Oh, come on.
That's most of the season.
I think he's not going to play football next year. He's going to get a contract to the UFC. Throwing elbows like that. That was amazing.
And to be fair, he's got the energy for it, doesn't he?
It could be John Bones Jones' double.
He could.
He's got the elbows for it.
Who's a John
he could do his drug test for him.
John Bones is the greatest ever MMA fighter in the world ever until he decided to get involved in the law. Against the law.
All right, okay.
Yeah, crashed a car, did a runner, then ran back to it, got all of his money out of the glove box and ran off again. And the police saw him come back for his money.
Oh, tidy.
Poor boy.
Tidy.
Yeah.
So tidy in the ring, but not so tidy in the head.
Well, that sums him up exactly, and you don't even know who we're on about. That's perfectly put.
Well, I have a talent for these things. What can I say?
Yeah.
Right, boys. Okay, that's enough for Lone Watch and Yaya. Oh, Yaya. I don't know what to say about him. Well, 2 big games this week. Well, 1 big game and 1 FA Cup match. There's only one place to start, and that's the North London derby. We went to the hellhole that is Shite Hart Lane, and we came away with a draw, boys. Who wants to go first on this?
Go on, Dom. I'm on every week.
You can give us the rundown. I want to hear you rant and rave and get angry.
No, I'm not angry at all. No, I would demand 2 things from a successful season. Don't lose to Spurs at home. Don't lose to Spurs away. And if we play them in the Cups, don't lose them there either. So 2 draws in the league, beat you in the cup. There you go, happy season. As me, as an Arsenal fan, that's all I demand. As long as we don't lose, I'm happy. As for the game itself, I think I'd put us down as a 2-0 loss with the Elephant Man scoring their goal. It was. I woke up at. I think it was the crack of dawn. It was still dark when the game kicked off for me. It was that bloody early. In fact, I went back to sleep after it finished. And I didn't wake up till 7:30 at night. Bloody hell, it was ridiculous. I stopped playing games really early. Very surprised to see El Neni starting in the middle of the pitch because although some people think I've had a go at him, I just said he didn't really do much. Opta gave him a 6.3. So they kind of agree that he didn't do much. He didn't do anything bad, but he didn't do anything magnificent. He did the job quite well. Personally, I'd like to see Flamini go in there. He hates Spurs. Spurs hate him. And I think he'd have gone in there and got stuck in. And it's a shame that he wasn't playing. Bellerin was absolutely amazing. He got the for a right back. He got the 2 assists. I think the first goal was, you can either look at it as a bit of a fluke from Ramsey, because he tries that 5 or 6 times a game, or you can look at it as a Welsh genius, just like Mr. Davis, who knew exactly what he was doing the entire time. Whichever one of those two you go for shows just how mental you are. But what a wonderful goal to score. And that will go down on the Arsenal v the Spurs highlight reel as one of the best goals. As for Coquelin getting sent off, he kind of knew it, didn't he? I think the pitch was a little bit wet. If that had been on a nice, hot, sunny day, I don't think he'd have slid into him as bad. But he knew what he did. It's good to see all of our best players get sent off v Spurs, which is always a good thing. I mean, no one ever moaned when Vieira would get sent off all the time against Man United and Spurs and Chelsea and players like that. Yeah, so it doesn't really matter. We got sent off. If it had stayed on, I don't think they'd have scored their goals because they scored 2 really quick goals. The Dele Alli goal. No, it wasn't Dele Alli. It was the goalkeeper. I've already said that. It was the defender. Alderweireld. Yeah, just toe poked it in. A lot of times this season we have had nobody on the posts. Now, I've heard it's because we do zonal marking. We don't do man marking. I don't know enough about that to have an opinion on it. But all I do know is I remember that back in the day, you'd have Lee Dixon on one post and you'd have someone else holding onto the other post, and probably, and then the goalkeeper between the two of them. Because as soon as you have someone on the post, it narrows the amount of goal width you have to put the goal. So if you have the goalkeeper in the middle, that means you've got 3 or 4 foot either side of him to put the ball in. So why Wenger doesn't do that is just the entire list of things we have no idea why Wenger does. Then Harry Kane, he could have tried that 50 times and it would have only come off that once, which is, I was thinking, even if we played Spurs and we were top of the Premier League, having won the Premier League 10 years in a row, and they were playing in the conference, I still wouldn't put us to win a North London derby, because team, form, players, everything goes out the window in those games. They're just so unpredictable. And then the equaliser by Sanchez was just a little bit of magic. Some say it was a bit of a fluke, but it doesn't matter. He scored the goal. I think we could have gone on from there and maybe got another one. It was good to see us still attacking, even with 10 men, because it used to be the Arsenal way, down to 10 men, then we were more dangerous because we were more up for it. So I enjoyed the game. As a neutral, it was brilliant. As Ospina, he broke the record for the recent record, saved 9 shots on target. When you look at the total shots, Spurs had 26 shots, 10 on target. We had 10 shots. No, they had 26 with 11 on target. We had 10 with 4 on target. So we were lucky to come away with that of a draw. I think the whole team did brilliant, and I do not have a single grumble to say about it. Well done.
Oh, well, you didn't even take a breath there. Fair play to you.
I'm trying not to breathe because everyone can hear me breathing.
Nice. Well done. Keep it up.
Thank you. I will. What, the breathing or the... I do intend to keep the breathing up for many more years.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Cheers. Fair enough. Not my choice, but there you go.
No, I wouldn't think it would be.
I'm only joking, bro. Okay, let's start with Ospina. A lot of those shots on target, to be fair, Dom, they didn't really test him. But the one from Lamela, which came off his shins, that was hell of a save, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's not a bad shot stopper. I don't think that's ever been any of the criticism that's been levelled at the guy is that his shot-stopping ability, but I think it's decision-making where he'll come charging out of his area and try to punch when maybe he shouldn't, and just those types of things I think is where he probably isn't quite up to par with the best of the best, but, hats off to the guy. He had a really good game.
Yeah. Ramsey's goal. For me, pure genius, not being funny.
Not biased at all.
No, of course I'm biased, let's be honest. I mean, he gave the ball away a bit in the game, but then again, we lacked cohesion the first time down any in the middle in a big game. We weren't as cohesive as we should have been, but as you said about Elneny, he was neat and tidy, and that's all you want from a guy starting off. But we weren't, we weren't at our best, were we? But the goal settled us down, and from there on in, we looked really good. What were your thoughts on the goal, Dom?
I'm a massive Ramsey fan, as you know. We have long conversations about the Welsh magician,
Yep.
But I don't really understand the criticism that's being levelled at him lately. Mainly because so many of the other players, I think, have gone hiding, and he's the one player that consistently runs around demanding the ball at his feet. He never ever hides. If he makes a mistake, he's the first one to run back to try to to help out. The guy's engine's amazing. And he tries to make things happen. He's really, for me, one of the only people that's been out there lately that really looks like he's trying to lift the team with his performances on the pitch. So, when you're a creative player and you're trying to make things happen, you are going to turn the ball over here and there. I don't think he turns the ball over in dangerous places and does as silly things as someone like Alexis has been. I'm not really... I've always sort of scratched my head when the criticisms come out about the guy and how they think it's all about him. But if everybody else was as up for it as he was, then maybe we wouldn't be in the position that we are at the moment.
To be fair, I am biased, I mean, whether Aaron Ramsey plays for the Arsenal or not, I don't really give a damn. It's lovely that he's there and there's the Welsh connection for me personally. But, I think he gets an awful hard time from a lot of the fans, and a lot of it is unwarranted. He hasn't been in the greatest form recently, but nobody else has either. I haven't seen Ozil or Sanchez or anybody else ripping it up in the last few weeks. So, as a unit, we've been poor, in my opinion. The finish was quite sublime by him. The ball was knocked in behind him, and he had the sharpness of thought to put that finish together, 1-0 up. We were looking good. So, Danny, we pressurised Tottenham from there on in, up until, what was the 55th minute, was it? Was the 50th minute, whatever?
Yeah, 55, somewhere in there.
Yeah. Now, Coughlin's first yellow was a bit
60,
daft.
60, then 62.
Ah, right. Yeah,
that's the goals, the red card.
The red card's 55, yeah, you're right.
Sorry. The Coughlin's first yellow card is a bit daft, in my opinion. He didn't really have to do that, but I kind of understand why. There were players getting back. But the second yellow, from me, it was the most ludicrous decision from him ever. They're not in a danger zone. It's by the touchline. There are people getting back. We're not. We're in a good spell in the game. And he flies in. He's let the team down. He's let the fans down. He hasn't even taken the guy's knees out. What's the point?
There was one like that at the weekend. I can't remember who it was, but the player went in for the tackle, and then even before the moment he hit the player, he put his arms up in the air, and then he went, "Oh, sorry, didn't mean to do that." And it was a similar thing to him. It wasn't a bone crunching tackle, because the other one of the weekend, he took the bloke's standing leg out after the ball had gone. But sometimes when the pitch is a bit wet and you're all up for it and you're being a bit eager, then these things happen, as we saw with Bellerin did exactly the same thing. And one of the Spurs players did it as well, wasn't it? There was one of theirs was booked just after. It must have been Eric Dyer.
Should have been sent off. But
Eric Dyer and Bellerin and Francis Coquelin all could have been sent off for exactly the same thing. A yellow, and then a second yellow, which was a bit of a messy tackle, or something they shouldn't really have done. I just think sometimes the occasion gets to them, and then they do silly things. It happens all the time, and I don't think there's anything anyone can do about it. Because, I don't know, we all do stupid things in the heat of the moment, don't we? And then you go, oh, but you saw Coquelin, the second he did it, he went, oh, God, I know I'm off. And didn't even bother arguing. There's no point, is there? No. Hopefully he'll learn for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody makes mistakes.
And needs to learn to not to stop doing it, but just be a little bit more sure. Because Kane was going nowhere, and Kane knew what was going to happen. And Kane, I reckon Kane even might have slowed down a little bit and then fell over. I can see it happening in my mind, and whether he could see behind him, but I think he knew something was going to happen, and He could have shrugged it off and carried on going, but if he'd have done that, then he wouldn't have got the yellow, would he? But was the referee right? I mean, he did one and let go the other two.
Let's be honest. The Dyer incident was right in front of him.
Yeah, the referee was to the right of the two players. You could see he grabbed hold of his shirt, didn't he?
Yeah, and that's the yellow
right in
card.
front of him. Yeah,
it's a straight yellow card. So why he hasn't given that, I have no idea. But then again, Mr. Oliver, he's a bit of a prick, isn't he?
I think most referees, according to most people, are. But I'm never worried. I can't ever remember moaning about a referee. I always think, don't leave it in the hands of the referee. Make sure you do your job, get the game won. And we could have easily done that. I mean, just how many times do teams score and then they usually concede straight away after? But to get concede 2 goals in must have been just over a minute. It's terrible. But then again, go on.
If you look at that game as a one-off, your analysis earlier, Danny, was spot on. That it's a North London derby. It's always a tough game. We went down to 10 men. Yeah, things happen in games. Coughlin made the wrong choice to make that tackle and paid the price and put the team down to 10. Did very well to come back. But the reason that I was so frustrated with the game is because if you go back to Mertesacker against Chelsea when he slid in against Costa, red card, you're off. Then you've got Koscielny against Leicester where he went sliding in on the touchline there. They ended up going down and getting a penalty for that. And then Coughlin goes down, all on the sideline, all the same sort of thing, not really in goal-threatening situations. To me, I just don't understand why they haven't learnt from those mistakes in previous games and seen how costly it's been, that the same thing keeps happening over and over again. That's why I was frustrated. It's the third time that it's led to a game-changing situation when it really doesn't need to. Like, what's sliding in like that going to achieve? You might kick the ball out of play, but if you look at what's the worst case scenario? Kane's not going to get the ball, dribble it all the way down and have a shot on target. No, worst case scenario is you let him go, he plays a pass, and then, at least give the goalkeeper a chance to make a save. Don't go and get yourself sent off. That's the frustrating thing for me, is that it seems to me that it's happened 2 or 3 times in recent history.
Are you interested in how many players we've had sent off against Spurs in Wenger's time?
Go on.
Ljungberg in 99 and Keown in the same game in 99, Gramandi in 2000. Just looking down, there's an entire list of all the ones going up to a couple of seasons ago. Then there was Eboué in 2009. There's a big old gap between those two. I am just scanning through this, so there might be some that I'm missing. And that seems to be it. We seem to be at 4.
Didn't Vieira get sent off against them?
This goes all the way back to 1996.
Is that just Premier League games, or is that...
No, that's all games. Yeah, David Eloy, I remember Paul Durkin. Tit he was. Yeah. Ginger twat.
Hey, in any case, let's get back to this. Yeah, I think you're a fair point there, Dom. Let's be fair. We don't seem to have learned this season. We don't seem to have learned many lessons this season, and that's one of them where, it's okay. I don't want to hammer Coughlin, but, it was the stupidest challenge ever. Yes, people make mistakes. These guys are human beings, but, all too often, we make the Gabriel incident with Costa and so forth.
And these are experienced players too. Yeah. Coughlin's been around the team long enough now. Koscielny and Mertesacker are both, fully fledged internationals that have played a lot of games for their countries and played a lot together. And they're all making the same silly mistake. That's the thing that confuses me, is that so really after the first one, the video evidence gets brought up afterwards in a match, analysis, and go, "Oi, guys, that was a bit silly. Let's not do that again." Oh, happened 2 weeks later. Oh, there we go again. It's just that's the biggest frustration for me for the whole season. I'm sure we'll get onto it later. Is that we haven't really been outplayed many times this season. We just keep doing it to ourselves. It's just that big red self-destruct button we always love to dance around and press.
Arsenaling it up. We were talking about this on Twitter last night, and we were talking about it, and I think I made the point that this first started in the 1988 League Cup final. I think we were 2-0 up, and then we got a penalty, and then Nigel Winterburn missed a penalty, ended up losing it 3-2, and that's the first time I can remember us Arsenaling it up.
I'm sure all sports teams will, around the world, not just football fans, will tell you the same thing, that their club does that. But it just seems that we do it more regularly than others, I think.
I think it's a fair point. Okay, let's go on to the Alderweireld goal. By the way, just a quick update. The Scum have just scored a penalty against the Scum and are 1-0 up.
Now I'm watching it because on the BT app, I'm about a minute behind. I think Smalling has just given away a penalty and got booked for it.
You enjoy. Any case, okay, Ramsey ends up playing Alderweireld onside from the corner. Once again, we're not great at defending corners. It's a bit of a grey area for us. Well, it's not a grey area. It's a poor area for us. Why the hell haven't we improved as corners, Danny? Why?
Because it's a known fact that Wenger does not. Every player who goes there has always... A lot of players have gone there, and some of them have said they do not get any defending training. In the old days, here we go again, old people moaning about the old days. But in the old days, George Graham used to say you build from the back. You learn how to not concede goals, and then you only have to score one goal and you win. Oh, yeah, he scored. And then I think it's been said that Wenger does no defending training. And if they do any defending training, he's not there for it. The only defending abilities you have are the ones you come to the club with. Like some people have said that that young defenders don't progress very well at Arsenal. Then somebody else said, well, look at the likes of Bellerin. How has he become such a good defender? I don't know whether that's natural talent, whether he's learnt it there. But... I'm not imagining it, have I? Our defending since the George Graham boys of Keown and Adams and Seaman and Dixon and Winterburn, since they retired, we haven't had any absolutely fantastic world-class defenders. The last one is possibly Ashley Cole and Sol Campbell.
It's a different game, though, guys. The game's completely changed. We've gone from being a very defensive team that thought about defence first to being a very offensive team where you think about attack first. So... I don't know. I'm sure they do some kind of defending practice at training, but unless you want them to be at training for 17 hours a day, they're not really going to be able to be, doing both. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're an offensive team. We want to have the ball. That's what we practice. That's what we work on. But lately, I don't know. I actually wouldn't mind, Danny, if you want to spend a couple of minutes to go and see how many goals we've conceded from set pieces in the last couple of years and where we rank with other teams, because I think you'll find it's not as bad as you think. I think that's one of them, what are they, a little stigma that we've been branded with from maybe a few seasons ago now, when we had your Scalacci's and stuff back there defending. And now with every time we do concede from a set piece, it's we're conceding set pieces again. I'm not sure, but I wouldn't mind knowing, because I don't think it's as bad as what people think.
I think last season we were pretty good, but it was just a sloppy goal. Ramsey's playing Alderweireld onside, and they're seeing again that lack of cohesion that we were talking about.
And you can't blame going down to 10 men conceding a set piece goal like that.
No.
That was the thing that annoyed me. Is if they cut us open, in open play, and we're a man down, you can kind of forgive it a little bit. But set piece like that, you think, oh really? Come on.
And Danny, I got to be honest, in reply to we haven't been good at defending since the George Graham days, I will give you...
his legacy, not his
his legacy. I will give you Ashley Cole.
But then
Lauren,
Ashley Cole was at the youth system at Arsenal when he was there, wasn't he?
Ashley Cole, Lauren, Sol Campbell and Toure.
Sol Campbell learnt his trade at Spurs.
I don't care, okay? That was not a George Graham thing, and that was an invincible aside, But
that is a point you can argue, but since then, the only defensive abilities players have is what they bring to the club, and that's about it.
I'm not sure, mate. I'm not sure. I think we should. We should. Oh, De Gea's just been hell of a save. I think we should be better, but
Oh, I'm no expert on this. I'm
no.
wrong.
Hey, it's a chat amongst mates. Let's be fair.
Yeah.
Okay? Right or wrong, it doesn't really matter. It's a valid opinion. Okay, then Harry Kane's goal. As much as it pains me to say it, wow. People keep on saying this guy will get found out. Well, bollocks. He hasn't been found out yet, says he?
It wasn't an accident, was it?
No, it was not an accident.
It wasn't crossing.
No.
Pear, he should have put that ball into Rowe's head. Silly boy. Another mistake from the big man. As much as I love him, not his finest moment, but let's be fair, he's not the only Arsenal defender to have made mistakes this season. Hell of a finish, lads. One you look back on with pride for the rest of his career, I suppose. Enough of that bollocks. Right,
let's move on.
Okay, a couple of chances we missed in this game to maybe put it to bed. Well, to definitely put it to bed. Danny Welbeck, first of all, being played in the box and the ball getting under his feet. Very frustrating. It's the type of thing that happens to us at the moment, isn't it?
Unfortunately.
Yeah. And then Rambo at the end takes the extra touch, and Wimmer, to be fair to Wimmer, that was a hell of a challenge. He's come in. Did Ramsey need to take the extra touch?
Probably not. I think
wasn't there 3 touches in total he took? One to control it. One to
push it away, and then one to try. But I think if you look at the Alexis goal, that just shows that it's one feather in Alexis's cap. He's very unpredictable when he's shooting at goal. Sometimes he'll take that extra little touch to take it away from a defender before having a swing at it, and sometimes he'll hit it first time like that. And I think hitting it first time really put Loris off. So people sort of say, it was a bit of a fluke, but it's probably the first time that Loris ever saw one of our players hit the ball first time, and he was probably just caught off a little bit. So, yeah, maybe if he just swung it at first go, then it makes it a lot more difficult because he's got a bigger angle as well. As soon as he touches it and takes it away, then he gives the defender a chance to close it down and narrows the angle so the keeper's got less to have to save. But, it's neither here nor there. It was probably, when you look at the stats that Danny brought up earlier, we were probably pretty lucky to get a draw, and we were reasonably clinical with 4 shots on target and two converted goals. It's that is a bit of a swing, I think. If you look at how we've been playing previously to that, where we've been having all of these shots, a lot of them on target, and just either hitting it straight at the keeper or hitting the post, or just really being quite poor in front of goal, to being able to have 4 shots and 2 of them go in, and then score a few against Hull on the weekend, midweek as well. So hopefully it's signs of things turning around a little bit.
It would be nice, wouldn't it? On Alexis' goal, fabulous shot, isn't it? First time, great skill. Hopefully it'll give the boy a bit of confidence and he'll start to find some form. People blaming Lloris for the goal, but that ground was awful slippy at the time. It's the right thing to do to put it on the floor, isn't it?
I've got a little something here that Dom was on about. There's an article from the Daily Mirror, the 26th of January 2016, so this is about nearly 2 months old. Goals conceded from set pieces. Is that what you wanted, Dom?
Yeah.
First, Liverpool, 40%, Bournemouth, 39%, Man City, 39%, all the way down to Arsenal in 12th with 27%.
So we're not that bad.
And the best is Crystal Palace with 11%.
I think if you look at last season as well, is that what it is? Is it just this season so far, or is that including...
it's just this season, yeah.
Yeah, last season I think we were definitely lower.
Yeah, we were I think we were the best in the league last season.
Yeah, and so the zonal marking you can look at. I'm not trying to make you look like a tit, Danny, even though I have. But the zonal marking thing, when it works, no one says anything about it. You don't hear people giving it praise. As soon as we concede one, that's where people jump up and down and go, "Oh, it never works! It never works!" Even though
men on the post,
it really does.
Men on the post that I want.
But
then you're giving people, then you're taking a defender away from an area. I mean, there's pros and cons to it.
In all fairness, Dom, okay, you may have made him look a tit there, but you still,
all right.
you still pronounced the word derby.
He certainly did, and we let him get away with that because we're not mean.
You haven't been in North America that long, fella. Roll your neck in. Bloody derby, I tell you what, honestly. Derby. Oh, derby. Right, okay, so overall thoughts of the game. Are you satisfied with the draw or disappointed we didn't win?
Well, like I said, as a one-off, as a just that game by itself, satisfied with the draw. But I think that was a must-win. I know that we've been saying that for the last 5 or 6 Premier League games now, but that to me puts it makes it very, very, very difficult to be challenging for the league after that. I think.
Okay.
Well, I think it's It ended a run of 3 consecutive defeats. That made 5 games in a row we hadn't won. But we didn't lose to them. Now, I don't care what we do, like I said in the beginning. As long as we don't lose to Spurs, home or away, then that for me is a good season. So, yep, brilliant.
Okay. I mean, for me personally, I don't want to harm a cock. I think he's.
You'll be careful doing that.
Yeah. Give yourself blisters, mate.
Well, won't be the first time, won't be the last. He's made a mistake, but that mistake has cost us big time. To me, we looked in control. They were always going to come back into it. I'm gutted we didn't win that, even with Ramsey at the end. Not hitting the target, not getting a shot away. It was a very frustrating day, but with 10 men, it's a decent result. At least we showed some fight. We showed a bit of bottle and we showed a bit of metal to not capitulate. And those dirty manky cunts can fuck off. Right? Okay. Oh, there wasn't any bad language. Can you cut that out, please, Tanny?
Yeah. No bad language. That'll be a first.
Oh yeah. Ignore it. Stuff it. Leave it in. They are what they are. Okay, lads. Tuesday night we went to Hull. There was a House Martin's album when I was growing up, Hull 4, London 0. Oof, that came back to haunt them, didn't it? Dom, the FA Cup game, what did you think?
To be honest, up until they handed us a goal, it was an absolute snooze fest. I thought I was watching Manchester United play. A lot of sideways stuff going on. We weren't really... Oh, it was terrible. To be honest, it was not. It was still there was. I thought we'd be zinging the ball around a little bit more and putting some more pressure on, running at them a little bit and making them actually have to defend. But there wasn't. I don't know if it was Hull being very compact and playing a very smart defensive game, just like they did at the Emirates. But at least when we played there, we were creating a lot more chances and forcing their keeper into some saves. But they really did just absolutely gift us a goal. And as soon as they did that, I think that we smelt a little bit of blood in the water and went after them a little bit. But overall, that first half was looking like it was going to peter out into a bit of a 0-0. But it was good to see that two guys that have been out of form recently in front of goal with Theo and Giroud finally stuck the ball in the back of the net, and I think that's a really positive thing. Hopefully, I know that people have been pretty negative with Theo, and rightly so. He hasn't really been performing that well, but we're going to need everybody up and about playing well to have any hope of pushing for any kind of silverware this year. Danny, were you awake for this one, or was it a bit early for you as well?
I'll tell you what, why the fuck was it a 7 p.m. kickoff in UK money?
You'd only just gotten up, hadn't you?
Yeah, actually, you're not far wrong, because they've got the bloody builders round banging and pneumatic drilling at 8 o'clock in the fucking morning. So I'm getting about half hour's sleep. Actually, I managed to sleep through a pneumatic drill for an hour today. I've got to be up at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning because they're going to come and plaster my ceiling. Nice of them. Only £100, couldn't say no. You're talking about that. I'm just looking at the injury situation. There's no news on Ramsey yet, but yeah, I'm glad they did have a 7 o'clock kick-off, because it means I missed the first half hour of what was an utterly pointless, boring shit. Even the fans didn't want to be there. I had an analogy. I think I might have said this in the WhatsApp group. It was a little bit like having to do the washing up on Boxing Day, because you want to have some breakfast and there's absolutely no. You'll either be drinking it out of the dog bowl with a pasta spoon, or you've got to do the washing up. You don't want to do it. It's early in the morning, but you have to do it. That's the whole feeling of that game. And then even Hull went, oh, for fuck's sake, look, well, they've gone from being top of the championship to fourth. They haven't won a game in a very long time.
5 games. 5 games.
Yeah, it's terrible. So they didn't want to be there. We didn't want to be there. And I was actually going to get my abacus out, and I was going to get hold of Jamie Carragher on Sky Sports to get his big touchscreen thing and work out how many different players we had playing in how many different positions. We started out with Gabriel and Mertesacker at the back. Round of applause for Spina again. Another fantastic game. Always like the bloke. And then... and then after 33 minutes, Monreal came on for Mertesacker. So then Monreal played centre-back. And then Ramsey came on for Paulista just before the hour, so then that means that Chambers moved into central centre back, and it means Flamini went from central midfield to right back, and Ramsey played in central midfield, and then other Jeff came on for Ramsey. So Ramsey, because he got that little injury, I'm just looking at injury room, and it says they got no idea, thigh strain.
Yeah, he's in strife. He'll be 6 weeks, I think.
6 weeks. Yeah. Fuck. Dan, how long did I say Santi? Santi is going to be back in 3 weeks. So we're fucked then. Welcome El Neni to playing an entire run of games. So where was I?
We don't actually have that many games because there's an international break and we've got an FA Cup. I think the only Premier League game that Santi might miss from now on will be the Everton game.
You've got 9 days until Everton. And the next one after that is the 2nd of April, which is going to be 3 weeks away.
So we could potentially have maybe Jack might be looking at a bench role, and Santi might probably be a bit more likely, and even Petr Cech might be back for that. So
I'm struggling to keep up. He's gone, he's back, he's gone, and he's back again. Is he actually here? Has he got going to get another tenner lady because he's having dribble issues? Where's he gone? I don't know. I know he's there.
I'm here.
Oh, right, okay. Trying to keep up with whether you're going or not.
I'm making a coffee.
Lovely. Well, the offspring's just got back so she can make me one. Yeah, so my point was it's really hard to keep track of what was going on, but I thought Monreal was absolutely outstanding. Even when he's playing centre-back, he's still one of our most creative forward-running players. Absolutely. If I could, I'd stand up and give him a round of applause, and I'm very sorry forever doubting. This just shows how little I know about football. I doubted him when he was first come to the club. Why are we spending £7-8 million on a left back? What a waste of money. He's come in, he's made Gibbs look like he's facing the wrong direction. He's fucking El Nene played really well. I thought Iwobi was not very good up for the most of the game, but he come in the second half when we were attacking and he was playing all out attack. I thought he looked really, really good. But a lot of what Iwobi was doing was sideways passing. He had a touch of the Ray Wilkins, known as the Crab.
Yeah. Actually, I want to expand on that because when Giroud scored the goal and they're doing the baby action, the Babette or Mario thing or whatever.
Hold on. Someone said tonight, because he said, Giroud scored 2 goals. He's getting a shag tonight. I thought he's missing to... Someone honestly tweeted that. No word of a lie. They're the exact words. I thought his missus has just given birth, you fucking idiot.
In all honesty, okay.
Yeah, he doesn't have to do it with his own missus. We know that.
Allegedly.
And in all honesty, when I found out he'd become a father again, I did think, who with? You never know with that boy. He's been caught with his pants down too many times now. But again, back to the celebration. Iwobi joined the celebration, and he just didn't look as if he felt part of it. If you watch that goal celebration again, he was quite tentative joining in. I don't think he quite feels part of the team yet. And
do people know who Bebeto is? It was the 1994 World Cup. I think it was in the USA.
Yeah,
and
right.
Brazil were wearing blue. He scores. He was sort of like an Ozil kind of player, maybe a bit of a striker. Him and Romario, and they come running over to the right-hand corner flag, and they did the whole baby thing because he just had a baby. So go look it up. It's one of. I think it was the first time I'd ever seen that celebration. In case because that was years and years ago, and we were all old.
1994.
Yeah.
I had hair. Yeah. I had a bit more hair then.
So was it yours?
Yeah. No comment. Yeah. So for me, Iwobi, he doesn't, as talented as he looks. I don't think he feels as if he's there yet.
That's definitely a point.
And young boy. You want him.
He's only 19. He's not 20 till May.
I don't know. He's got something about him. I think he's definitely got something about him, doesn't he? More so than some of the other people that I think that we've let go. That people have kind of scratched their heads as to why we've let them go. I think he definitely has a little bit about him.
Yeah, and you look at the companies keeping on that pitch at times. We've been disjointed at best recently. So. To be fair to the boy, you can't really blame him for being tentative.
But you think he's got five? He's played 5 times for Arsenal in the Premier League, totalling 37 minutes. That's because Wenger keeps bringing him on with a minute to go. So although he has got,
there you go, son. Cover yourself in glory. You've got 60 seconds.
Yeah, so I don't think he's the best crop of young players we've had. There's quite a few other, like Benikafobe. He's another one who's probably left. But I think a lot of these players don't want to wait. They want to go. You flash a bit of cash at them. He's now played 11 games in all competitions. He's failed to score yet. He's left. He used to be in England under 8. He's born in Lagos, and Lagos. Yeah, it's in France. No, Lagos. He's played for the England under 16, 17, and 18, and now he's gone to play for Nigeria. So he's got 2 caps for Nigeria. I think hopefully he'll stick around because he's only 5'11", but he's quick as fuck. It's good to see. I think that helps the club have an affinity with players if they come through the system. Like we all remember the days of all the George Graham boys that have come through the system, and you look at the amount of people that really love Jack Wilshere because he's come through that system, and Ramsey virtually has, although he started his career at Cardiff, but he's been with us so long, and that's why Walcott gets such a buy with so many fans for all these years because he's a youth player coming through, and I think that's what we need. We need someone to cheer at. You wait till John Terrell comes back next season, another one who I think is going to be brilliant.
It would be nice to see us produce a few more. Also, it might stop the clamour for multi-billion-pound signings, But again,
but you are right. They're chasing dollars and they want game time instantly. They don't want to wait around and hope that they get. I mean, look at Iwobi for example. He's got Mesut Ozil ahead of him in the role that he's been playing in.
You got your Ozil, you got Santi, you got Rambo. You can play there.
But he does it differently. He does it more Bergkamp way in that Ozil hole because he looks like he's willing to try and go up and score a goal, and he uses his pace and maybe uses his strength. Whereas Ozil is a little bit more like a chess player. Where
they've
he's
still
not really
got careers they're thinking about, though, don't they? You said, they're still thinking to themselves, well, I want to actually play football and develop, and it's developmental years that they're going through at the moment, and they need to be playing football.
Ozil, it's going to be a dream.
Yeah, but you're not really going to learn much by just training and not ever being out on the pitch. So it doesn't surprise me that a lot of those guys leave. I don't think it's the club, saying you're not good enough, goodbye. I think a lot of the time it's the players and the agents saying,
I don't know. I think it's half and half, to be fair.
It depends who they are.
But you look at some of these guys, they haven't really held their hand up and said, yes, I deserve this, Yeah, and there's a reason there's been an overhaul of the academy system recently. There's a reason.
I think that if there is a kid knocking on the door like a Bellerin, that's young enough and that's pulling up trees, then they're going to get a shot. We know that with us, and that he will give the kids a go if they're playing well enough. I do want to see a bit more of the Jeff though. We've got to get the Jeff out there more.
Oh, didn't he look brilliant when he came on?
He does. He looks. Who was it?
He looked special, didn't he?
Well, there was. Look. Obviously, we don't see the guys at training, but didn't people used to say that Patrick Vieira was one of the worst trainers they'd ever seen? That you kind of watch him train and you thought, really, this guy's actually good at football. And then when he was playing, everyone was like, wow. I just wonder, maybe the Jeff needs to just get a little bit more game time because he seems to not really put too much of a foot wrong when he's had the limited opportunities that he's had. He looks really, really good.
What would you say his position is? Central midfield, holding midfield, attacking midfield?
He's definitely more creative. He played a little bit on like a wide forward position earlier in the season when he played in some of the pre-season stuff. But I think that was maybe like Arsenal likes to do, put guys out there to learn a little bit. But he could probably play anywhere across there, couldn't he?
He's still got time, isn't he?
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Again, you don't want to put too much pressure on the guy. Getting back to the Hull game, lads. Let's be fair. The first half was absolute dog shit.
I don't know. I missed most of it.
Honestly,
the stupid kick-off time.
I think
it did me a favour.
Because
you weren't here when I was saying that to Dom.
Oh, honestly, it was painful. Okay, but in all fairness, Hull City looked like they were in World War I trenches. They did not want to come over the parapet. They were just there to defend. Okay, they did not want to stick their head up. And that's the way it went. We weren't creative enough and so forth. A mistake leads to a goal, and then the floodgates open. It wasn't the greatest game in the world, was it?
You wouldn't have looked at that game and gone, we deserve to win that 4-0. Maybe we deserve to win it 1-0 or win it on penalties, but I just think, well, I was saying to Dom when you were off gallivanting around the house in your underpants, that I think Hull just went, we just give up, all right, we're going to roll over and play dead. We just cannot be fucking bothered because we're losing it in the league, we're playing our reserves and we're still getting nowhere. Just let them have the game.
So it seemed that way.
They
said,
here
you go, have a goal. Here you go, Giroud. Surely you can't miss this one.
Yeah.
No, I mean, what did Robbie Savage say? Why he went on about why he hitting it with the outside of his boot there, and he had a point, to be fair.
When Theo scores a couple of goals, you've got to be playing someone who doesn't give a fuck.
He took his goals well though.
Maybe
it would be a little bit of a confidence booster for him because everybody says that when he doesn't have time to think and it's just one touch shoot. He's a good finisher. He really is. But for me, it's not really in front of goal that Theo's been frustrating. It's what he's doing when either not in possession of the ball or when we are running forward. He just seems to run away from the ball. He doesn't seem to be a guy wanting to get amongst the possession much. If we're struggling to get out of our own half, for example, you're not going to see him dropping deep and helping out and sort of just being an outlet or being involved in a few one-touch passes to get us moving again. He just wants to sit up high off the shoulder of the defender and make a run. That seems to be all he's got in his locker.
But let's be honest, okay, if you go back to the Bayern Munich game at home, okay, his work rate was sensational.
The Man United game,
and
at home, he was absolutely. He was playing up top, and he was probably our best player. He had 2 assists, I think, that game. He was absolutely wonderful, and it's because he worked his ass off.
Absolutely. And all of a sudden, he's turned into as if he's on the CIA's most wanted list and gone into hiding. The guy, fuck me, it's as if he's wearing camouflage kit out there. You just don't see him. And that's the frustrating part. When he came on against Leicester, he worked hard, he looked aggressive. It was really nice to be able to say, hey, he looked like he wanted to be there and he looked like he wanted it. And all of a sudden he reverts back to type. Now, surely he's been at the club 10 years. If he hasn't manned up yet, on a regular basis, what hope is there?
I don't know, but you look at it and you go, that's not a form thing. It's not even a development thing. It's not something that seems that it's just going to pop up overnight. We've seen what he's capable of when he is working hard, when he is tracking back, when he is being more of a rounded player, and then he just won't do it for 6 or 8 games. They're always, as a striker, as a forward, you know that you're going to have periods where you're banging goals in left, right and centre, and then you're going to have periods where it just doesn't seem to be working out for you. Unfortunately for us, we've had all of our forwards go through a period lately where they can't seem to score. You can probably carry one of your forwards doing that, but you can't carry all 3. And I just don't understand why he hasn't seemed to understand yet that if you're not banging goals in and that's not happening for you, then the next best thing is to just work yourself into some form. We've seen him do it before. I'm sure he gets told, go out there, run around. It's what you mean. Oxlade-Chamberlain had taken his spot until he got injured. So it's not like it was a mystery.
Let's be honest, with Ox's form this season, you've got fucking awful.
Exactly. And then so you would think that he would come on and that would be the kick in the bum that he needs. But a 26, 27-year-old guy that's been playing at the top level for 10 years shouldn't need to be told week in, week out, please go out there and try, Theo. Go out there and actually run around a little bit, can you? I mean, that's the frustration, I think. Surely the coaches are starting to go, oh, for Christ's sake, if we're going to have to tell you the same message each and every week, then maybe you're not good enough to be here.
I mean, the one thing for me, I look back when I was a kid, you had Ian Rush playing, okay, who would always work hard off the ball. He was the first line of defence. You had Ian Wright, who'd work hard off the ball. If you're working hard off the ball, it will give you confidence, because you're doing something right. If you just stood there hiding, then how are you supposed to get any confidence?
Well, you have a look at Giroud's form lately. Hasn't been great in front of goal, but the guy's had some fantastic assists, some little knockdowns. He works his socks off. He's always wrestling with 2 centre-halves every single week, and he puts in a massive shift, and at least he's contributing when he's out there, regardless of whether he's able to, finish off a couple of goals or not. The problem is that the other forwards, Alexis and whoever's been on the right-hand side, hasn't been able to produce many goals either. But that's the biggest disappointment, is you think, well, look, Giroud's not in great form, but he's absolutely working his ass off, regardless of whether he's scoring or not. He doesn't let that bother him. But Theo just seems to be the opposite, that when he's scoring, he's up and about, and then when he's not, then he's just absolutely... I mean, I've in the past have been one of those people that get sucked in, that, oh, look, he's scored 2 or 3, he's played up front, he's played really well, here he goes, he's about to finally, reach his potential, and then every single time it's just another letdown, and I don't really want to be fooled again. So I hope that he proves us all wrong, and I hope that he goes on to score a shit ton of goals from now to the rest of the season, then he actually starts to work hard and contribute. But how many times have we seen it before?
Okay,
unless he's playing for a contract, then he doesn't do a lot.
That's the only time he's ever shown any proper bottle, to be honest with you, when contract talks are up. I got to be honest with you.
That's so true. And it's his birthday next Wednesday. He'll be 27.
Oh, I tell you what, okay.
20 bloody 7. Talk
about wasted career in the reality of it all. Okay, guys, would you be happy to see him go in the summer?
I wouldn't be happy. I wouldn't. No, this is the other argument I wouldn't mind having a chat with you fannies about, is that the whole, well, we've got a lot of money in the bank that we're not spending, and people sort of say, well, we could get X amount for Theo. Well, that's all very good and well, but we don't actually need money. We've got plenty there. So
I think it's more
the argument to me,
paying him.
Well, okay, but that's the other thing that I kind of look at and go, the club can afford it. They can afford to pay him 130 a week. That's their decision. Unless the only reason that I would see that to be an issue is if the club come out and said, we can't go and buy Marco Reus because we're paying Theo 130 and we can only afford to pay one, marquee wide forward that kind of money because we've already got Alexis. Then I would be going, get that little shit out of there, and so we can get a Marco Reus. But we can afford to do both. We can afford to go out and get another top-class wide forward, and Theo can earn 130 grand on the bench if he wants. It's not an issue for us. Money's not the problem.
Yeah, but it's frustrating seeing that. It's a talent unfulfilled, and I got to
34 games this season, and he scored 8 goals, 4 in the Premier League, 2 in the Champions League, and 2 in the FA Cup. That's 1 goal every 1,950 minutes. That can't be right. And that's total number of minutes. A goal every 2,000 minutes.
What if 5 feet working out as £1.3 million a goal or something stupid?
Yeah. But he's definitely underperformed this season. There's no doubt about that.
I think that's a kickstart to help him perform more.
Oh no, it's always a false dawn, isn't it? Let's wait and see. Boys, there's a title run in to come. Is he going to contribute?
He's got an opportunity now, doesn't he? He really does have an opportunity to stand up and try to create a little bit of something for himself.
But he wore the captain's armband again after Per went off on Tuesday, and
he's been there 10 years.
Yeah, but I did. You don't see any leadership from him. And as one of the senior pros at the club now, you expect a bit more.
When he came on and scored that goal for Leicester, I thought, oh, here we go. Theo's showing a bit here.
Yeah.
And then it disappears. It just disappears as quickly as it comes again. And like I said, you can always understand, that players are not robots. They're going to have ups and downs. They're going to have good and bad matches here and there. But if you've been at somewhere like Arsenal for 10 years and you're a seasoned player like he is, you would expect more good than bad. And that's probably the biggest issue, is that you get 4 or 5 pretty average performances where he doesn't contribute a lot either side of the game, defensively or offensively. And then it's just a little moment here or there where you go, oh, maybe, and then it goes back to
my biggest issue with him is he's a shithouse. He goes missing too often. Okay? And that's, you look at Jack, you look at Rambo, whatever criticism you want to lay at those guys, they never, ever go missing. Their bravery is on show, game in, game out. Whether they fuck up or not is not the issue. They are prepared to give it a go. I would, if I could see that for the rest of the season from Theo, great. It may be he's grown up finally, but I wouldn't put money in it. Okay, let's be honest, boys. The Hull game was a bag of wank. Two decent goals for each for Theo and Ollie. Yeah, congratulations, Ollie. You're a dad again. Woohoo. Any final thoughts in it all? Well, the
Thank
injuries.
God it's over.
The
Yeah, we
injuries.
might need to go through the injuries. This is
Yeah.
probably going to need a separate podcast. Fuck, every single time we seem to have these FA Cup games midweek. I think it was, which one was it at the start of the season where Theo and Ox both got injuries?
Sheffield Wednesday.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That was that Capital One or was that?
Yeah, the League Cup lost 3-0.
These bloody cup games, we just seem to just midweek and no, it's nothing to do with warm up.
I thought you said that the Ox come straight on without warming up.
No.
I've misquoted you again. I'm going to shut up.
You have. I know that a lot of people think that, but I mean, I'd need to sit here for half an hour and explain why that's not the case. But the injuries to Ramsey, I mean, Ramsey came on suddenly. So did Jeff. Jeff didn't get injured. So did, who was the other one that had to come on? Nacho came on. He didn't get injured. So they come on suddenly. Rambo was out there for 16 minutes before he did his thigh. His problem is biomechanical. Same with Theo, same with Ox. Those guys have a history of repeat muscle injuries. It's a biomechanical issue with Ramsey. And I've said this before, that he is more injury prone than Jack Wilshere. And I mean that from a biomechanic standpoint where, okay, Jack's style of play might promote him to get tackled more, which is going to cause injuries. I don't buy into the whole glass ankles thing. That doesn't really exist. It's just the fact that he gets kicked a lot more, and any of the tackles that he's been injured from, we would also have our ankles broken from. It's not like he gets a little tap and they shatter. But Ramsey can't seem to get through 10 to 15 games in a row without breaking down, and that is a big worry and a big issue. He's 25 now, and you sort of got to look at that and think, well, what does that mean for the future when it comes to potential transfers? You know, we've already seen us take a risk with Arteta this season and not go out and buy anybody else, and that backfired. And I'm sort of starting to wonder whether you start to pin your hopes on Ramsey being the mainstay of that central midfield. I'm not sure that the guy's capable of getting through a 38-game season. I really don't. And he's not proven it to me yet. And unfortunately, he's gone down with another repeat injury that he's had before. When it's soft tissue injuries, it's extremely difficult to fix. Extremely difficult. You know, the club's got some of the best people in the world working with the guy trying to prevent this from happening. And you know, lo and behold, 10, 15 games in a row, and he breaks down again. The other ones aren't too much of an issue. Mertesacker got a bit of a bump on the head, and I'm not even sure what was wrong with Gabriel. Just a little bit of a...
I think his sock came undone.
He what?
His sock came undone.
That's what it seemed like, didn't it? He just sort of just sat on the ground and thought, no, I've had enough. That'll do. This game's boring. I'm going home.
Just looking at this Arsenal report.com, since the beginning of 2013, Ramsey, thigh strain 2 days, thigh strain 97 days, ankle 1 day, hamstring 18 days, hamstring 9 days, hamstring 20 days, ankle 6 days, hamstring 34 days, and now thigh strain again. It all seems to be ankle, thigh strain, and
but the
hamstring.
Ankles you will find with footballers are extremely common just because they're running around getting the shit kicked out of them all the time. Especially that's not an issue. Ankle. Impact injuries like that don't concern, fitness professionals because it's part and parcel of the game. It's like, me trying to prevent head injuries in rugby, Jace. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
And then you go, we've missed him again because he's, gone and had a concussion. Well, that's part and parcel of sticking your head where it shouldn't be. It's the same thing. People stick their ankles and their feet in football all the time where they don't really need to be, and they get kicked and they roll, and that happens. But it's the repeat soft tissue injuries.
So what would you do if he was a client of yours and he came to see you? Would you do anything?
Yeah, you can. But the problem is that you're paying the guy so much and he's such an important part of the team. You need to get him back out there as quickly as possible. But what I've addressed it before, is that it's a biomechanical issue, and if you go into the science behind it, he's probably got an anterior pelvic tilt, which lengthens his hamstrings, which puts them under strain, which means that if there's something that's going to go wrong, it's going to be the hamstring because it's the weak link in the movement. And then you've got the opposite side of the.
Sorry, did Dean Dial Square tell you that?
Yeah, he did. His missus is a nurse, that's where I get all of my info from. I Googled.
Don't pick on Dean. He's all right.
He's a twat.
But that's the issue, right? Is that if how do you go about fixing that whilst you're trying to also have somebody physically at an elite level to play Premier League football? He'd need to really, really take things back to a very, very basic level. And even then, you could get him back up to speed and get him running around to that elite level again. And lo and behold, those issues come back. And that's the biggest issue, is that it's, hindsight's wonderful. Oh, maybe he shouldn't have played. Well, the guy's got certain biomechanical... I don't know what imperfections, as we all do. No one's got perfect biomechanics. It's just that his happened to cause him to. It's hard to explain. His happened to cause him problems with muscular. It's really difficult to explain without just sounding like a nerd. But basically, if you've got the anterior pelvic tilt and the hamstrings are then under load, as soon as you start running and you start to overstretch, those hamstrings are already tight. They're not tight, they're under tension, so they're contracting as you're trying to stretch them. And now, if you're contracting something that's stretching something that's contracting, that's only one thing that's going to happen, right? It's going to tear. And so when his body's now compensating for all the hamstring problems that he's had, then guess what goes? The thigh goes. So you've got a catch-22 situation there where you're trying to strengthen up the hamstrings and get that biomechanically sound, and then the other side goes. And you can't. It's almost like a lose-lose situation for the poor kid, and that's why they're finding so much difficulty trying to, one, rehab the guy, but two, keep him at the fitness level he needs to be to play week in, week out.
But with the amount of ground he covers as well, it's never going to help. He's never going to hold back, is he?
No, and you don't want him to. I mean, it's the same thing I sort of say with Jack Wilshere, is that, he probably needs to curb it just a little bit, but he's come through from the age of 10 to, be playing Premier League football for Arsenal and playing, when he's on form at a very high level. Are you going to go and tell the guy, all those things that make you great and that have got you here, you've got to change them all now? It's very difficult to do.
Do you have a theory on his Aaron Ramsey scores people die thing?
Yeah, I think it's a load of shit.
Oh, come on.
Oh, no, people want to know. I'm just looking at a list of it now. It's quite a long list, and Nancy Reagan was the latest one, the day after he scored a goal. Rickman, a day after he scored a goal. Bowie, the day after.
Michael Jackson a few years before.
Yeah.
But whatever. Right, okay, shut up, you tart. That's the game done.
Question time.
No.
No, not question time.
No.
Is it time for a wee?
No, I might go. I'm not sure yet. A couple of other things. One thing that came from that game, the banner was back.
Oh fuck.
Daniel.
Yes.
The banner came back. Ian Wright made his feelings fairly clear on it, which led to a little bit of a Twitter spat last night.
DT.
Your thoughts, mate?
Well, first of all, the point, I talked to DT on Twitter. He's an all right bloke. I did a quiz with him once and wound him up. Yeah, but he's got a point. First of all, this is thanks for my memories. So that's a positive thing. And then it says now it's time to go. So that's a negative. That's what he feels it needs to be done. And when you look at the fact of the amount of money we've had, and the amount of time we've had, and the amount of times this season, it seems every season we get more and more things go wrong, more and more fuck ups, more tactical errors, more things like that. And he's just annoyed. And if people want to protest, let them protest. And it's not, whenever people want to hold up banners saying in Arsenal we trust, you don't hear people like DT going, oh, that's fucking disgraceful, how dare you say that. He says, no, you want to have a banner, you have a banner. And there's all the Usmanov ones slagging off Usmanov. That's not really that's not cricket as well, is it?
No, fair enough. The flip side is they said what they said. I got no problem with the banner. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it at all. There's a title run in. We've been having a tough time. We're not out of it, but timing's not great. That's just my opinion, but they have every right to do it. But Ian Wright then gives his opinion on it, and all of a sudden a club legend is being verbally abused.
This is the same club legend that after Chelsea won the Champions League, he tweeted a picture of Ashley Cole holding the Champions League aloft, saying maybe he wasn't right to leave Arsenal. Maybe he was right to leave Arsenal.
Hey, look, okay.
What?
That's up to him, okay? That's his opinion. He can do what the hell he wants.
Yeah, but he's telling us we were wrong.
No. Let's get something right, okay? Everybody gets a little bit precious and a little bit upset when somebody disagrees with their opinion. Henri's taken a shed-full this year. Ian Wright's taken a shed-full over the years. You know
what people struggle to do, Jace?
What's that, pal?
Fair enough, and then get on with your day.
Yeah, exactly.
Who gives a shit? You don't wake up missing a limb because somebody has a different opinion to you.
Yeah.
I think bad's going to happen. It's okay. The thing that I think with the thing with the banner is that if they want to go and say that and that's what they think, go for gold. But they can't complain when people call them names and abuse them. I don't think. It's like, well, you've had your opinion shown, and if someone wants to have an opinion on your opinion, then they can go for it too.
Yeah. I think that's fair enough.
Simple.
Good luck to everyone. There you go.
That's shit. Doesn't affect my day.
But then again, if Wenger wasn't just continually making mistakes, whether they be his fault or the player's fault, people just had enough of it.
Danny.
Yes.
Didn't ask for your opinion on Arsene Wenger. I'm sick to fucking the back teeth of it all. I'm sick to the back teeth of it all.
You told me you don't have back teeth. You took them out.
I'm trying to. The banner, just the banner.
Yeah.
Just that little spot. I mean,
fair enough. You do what you want to do.
Yeah.
They waited till after the game. It's not like they did what
hurting
Liverpool
anybody.
did. Liverpool protested during the game and walked out, and then they went from a winning position to a losing position. At least the people with the banner waited until the game was over.
I mean, look, I don't agree with it, but they've hardly committed a crime, have they? It's not something I would do. It's not something I like, but
I don't think it looks great. But that's my opinion. I'm allowed to have it.
Exactly. But they haven't shot anyone, have they? To be fair,
nah, who gives a shit.
It's not like they're shagging school children, is it? Or whatever.
Adam Johnson.
No, that's a little. That's what I thought he'd got up to, but apparently he didn't. It's just a little bit of a tickle.
Yeah, didn't he? Oh, that's not
just a bit of the Bill Cosby's.
Oh, Jesus, we're going to descend into that. Oh,
you know full well that if someone offered you a go in a Range Rover, you'd let him have a little tickle of you just so you could have a drive, wouldn't you?
If I was a 16-year-old girl, absolutely.
Yeah, I'd be well in there.
They've done that. Only joking.
Yes, all allegedly.
Okay. So yesterday, we're going to move on now. Yesterday, Red Action announced a
new campaign?
Well, Danny, do you want to talk us through it?
Well, from the little that I know, because we had a few people that are involved in certain things in our WhatsApp group, and they're all discussing it like grown-ups, and one of them was saying that Red Action want me to turn up quarter of an hour or half an hour before the Barcelona game to get a free carrier bag to make some kind of, not a protest, maybe... to make some kind of sign or statement, that's the thing. But then of a game that we're virtually out of, which he didn't say in this message in the WhatsApp group. But then he said, but then again, the Watford game, quarter-final of the FA Cup that we should win, they tell me not to turn up. Said, what kind of sense is that? Like I was saying to Jace before we kicked off. Because we kick off on this. if you want to make a protest, fair enough. I agree with all protests by all people. Our very own Raj and his lot, the BSM, have organised some very worthwhile protests and demonstrations and all those other, whichever word you want to call it. Because I know Raj might be there shaking his gatto-covered fist at his wireless, shouting, "That's not what I did!"
He would have been off by now.
He'd have a profiterole on each finger.
He would. He'd be snorting profiteroles like they're going out of business. Anyway, if you want to do the protest, don't do it in an FA Cup quarter-final. Do it maybe when we're playing at home to Watford in the league, which is going to be the 2nd of April, or Crystal Palace at home in the league, the 17th of April. No one gives a fuck about either of those games. Or maybe the last game of the season when we could protest against the last game against Villa, because we're not going to be celebrating anything other than that day, other than regaining our 4th place trophy. And so, but don't do it in a game against Watford. Make a protest at a game where people are going to go, yeah, I don't mind not turning up to that game because it's a shit game. Although we might get double figures against Villa, hopefully.
Playing devil's advocate to that, would they not? I guess they would say yes, but it's a bigger statement if no one turns up to a big game.
Well, yeah, I suppose so. But it's,
Yeah, but if you're going
I
to
don't
do,
agree with it, but
yeah,
I'm just saying that that's
I
probably what they
wouldn't.
would say.
I'd still turn up.
but let's
Although I do agree with what they're doing. If it was any other game, if it was a Barcelona game, I'd probably not turn up because I wouldn't want to be there. Or I wouldn't be going all the way to fucking Spain. So you can't not do it for the
I don't
Barcelona
understand
one.
the stink with it either. But if someone said to me, "Yeah, we're going to have a protest. Don't go to this game," I'd go, "No, I think I will. See ya."
Yeah, but it's this thing. I mean, I thought Red Action were all about the fan experience. I kind of don't get it. I kind of, it's all a bit bizarre. And if you want to make a statement, you make a statement against the big boys. Look, 99.9% of somebody going to the match is, they're not going to buy into this, are they?
No.
It's something, you want to pay to go watch the team. You want to watch the team, don't you?
Pick a meaningless game that's on telly. There you go. Everyone wins.
But it's just,
Especially if it's raining.
it's all a bit bizarre. I find it. I find it strange. I find it strange, and you don't want to knock anybody because they do a lot of good work. I think let's not forget that. Let's not forget it. And then,
They've had a big hand in the ticket reduction for away a set fee.
But
for away fans.
they make an effort week in, week out, and that should not be lost in all of this. I think it's easy to have a pop, but
it's only our opinion of what you do. Don would go to the game. I wouldn't go if it was a different game, and you just go and smash whoever disagreed with you.
Daniel.
I mean, no, you wouldn't. You'd sit at home knitting.
Thank you. That's better. That's a fairer representation of my day.
What I'd like to see is all the fans group work as one. And then you're going to get more people doing more stuff, and then But there again, in the end, does Stan Kroenke give a fuck as he's on his farm in Texas milking the bulls? No, he doesn't give a fuck.
I don't think he could even name 5 of our players, let alone fan groups.
He definitely couldn't name our quarterback, could he?
Okay, lads. On to the big news of the week: a £26 away ticket, where the Premier League clubs finally made a decision and went for a maximum price of £30 on away tickets for away fans. The Arsenal gave an extra discount and it's £26 a ticket. Good thing? Happy?
It's amazing. I'll let someone else speak because I got a couple of things off of Sky Sports last night that I actually, if I go to here, then I might be able to.
Shut up then, Dom.
Okay. I've got very little to say, obviously, because I'm not unfortunately, if I'd love to be able to, and hopefully one day I'll get over for some games. But it's one of those things you've got to be very careful what you say when you're an overseas fan, because it's not something that really impacts me much. But I will say that I never thought I would see the day that football tickets would be made cheaper in any capacity. So, let them have their day. Big hats off. Give them a week or two of congratulating before you start jumping straight on the bashing bandwagon of give us cheaper tickets for other things. But it's one of those things I've never ever seen. I've gone to sports all over the place around the world, and the tickets never get cheaper. No. So there is something to be said about football, and it still seems to have a bit of a family feel, even though it might not seem that way to some of the local people that have been going for a long, long, long time. I still think there's potential there. I really do, and it just shows that the clubs listen. They're businesses now. They've changed. It's not a club as much as it is a franchise, and it's very much following the American model, where teams are seen more as franchises around the world, and it's all about trying to promote your brand. It's not really about the club aspect as much anymore, which is very sad. It is really sad to see it go that way. But this, to me, I think from an outsider's point of view, shows that there is still potential there, which is why I'll never say anything bad about anybody that goes to games that protests, that wants cheaper tickets, that thinks that it's too expensive. I will support that 100%.
There is a cultural side to it, whichever way the owners or the Premier League look at it, to the fans, to people who've gone for generations, it's not a franchise. It's something that they buy into. People use the word stakeholder. It's not so much being a stakeholder. They feel they are part of it. They live it, they breathe it. And to bring it down to economics or so forth, you can't just do that, because without those guys on the terraces, the club is not the same. It is not the same. You know, you don't get the feel for it. You don't get the passion. You don't get the, I'm a foreign fan. You know, I'm not English. I'm Welsh.
Are you?
Yeah, funny enough, yeah. But,
I thought you were from Norwich.
I'm not being funny, you know.
It's why you can never compare it to the American model, because the culture is so different.
Yeah, exactly.
The culture in the North America here is that they've got such a patriotism here that the college sports are bigger than the professional sports. Now, you're never going to have college sport or university level stuff be big anywhere else in the world other than here, because they're so patriotic that they get behind their team. Yeah, regardless. Whereas the difference over there is that it's not. And the same as at home, it's not like that. You know, there's very much more of a, I don't know, it's very difficult to explain, but it's so different culturally that's why it's sad to see the owners coming in trying to turn things into franchises and sort of getting away from the actual club feel and the club atmosphere of things.
Well, this is hopefully a step in the right direction. I mean, the one thing about it is, it's horrible to see every loggerheads over it and just trying to justify a point at times. You know, I kind of find, okay.
So my stats thing now?
Bear me 1 second, and then you come in.
Busy waving your phone at your Wi-Fi. I can hear you every now and
then. Sorry. I do apologise.
You're a very bad man.
Well, I try my best. The thing about it is, okay, the club may have voted in a different stance initially, but at least the right thing.
£6, that was amazing.
Yeah, at least the right thing's been done now. And, for all this foreign fan, local fan business, fucking hell, we still support the same club. Let's just give it a break at times, because I'm sick to the fucking back teeth of it. Don't tell me it doesn't mean as much to you as it does to me, because it fucking pains me to watch our recent form. It hurts my bastard soul. I can't fucking sleep. I cannot fucking eat. It fucking hurts every fibre of my body to watch the shower of shit that we've put out recently. But I still believe we can go on and win the title. That's how much I love it. I'll always believe we can. And that's the crux of it. We support the same club.
For the same reason every week in the predictions you pick Ramsey to score, whether he's in the team or not.
Yeah, I couldn't
give never give up. You don't give up.
You don't. We're not shithouses. We're not Theo Walcott. We keep on going. We keep on going to the bitter fucking end until it's impossible to win.
And the end is very bitter.
It always is. But you know what? Then you get up, you dust yourself down, and next season, we have another crack. So, Daniel, would you like to please give me your information? Thank you.
Sky News last night, they had a few infographics that are pretty interesting. There are 58 different priced. Is that a yellow window flashing? Does that mean he's finished? Have you washed your hands, Dom?
No.
Oh, fuck's sake. More yellow peril. There's 58 different priced away tickets in the Premier League this season. The most expensive is Arsenal at £64. There's a couple at £60, a couple at 55, 4 around £50. Go to the next. No, I don't want to go that one, do I? The next one I want to click at. The cheapest one is £22 from Leicester. I bet it won't be £22 next season when they're Premier League champions. And then another interesting fact: if you're an Arsenal fan and you go to every single away game, how much do you reckon you're going to next season, when the tickets have all been changed? How much do you reckon an Arsenal fan will save for going to all 19 away games?
£400.
Ooh.
£450.
See how much notes you take on my fucking WhatsApp messages. £367.
Don't win. What do I win?
Wins.
What do I win?
You win a night of passion with yourself. At least it'll be done properly.
I did see it. I just didn't want to give you the satisfaction.
Oh, we're getting grief on Twitter. I've just said that it's a decent pod tonight, just the three of us. And Raj has put, will it last 57 hours with Dom on it? What do you got to say to that, Dom?
Well, factually, the podcasts that I've been on in comparison to Raj's have been... I mean, I know he likes to use deflection tactics, like when he talks to the AKBs, but he's very good at it. But unfortunately for him, factually, my podcasts are on average shorter than his. So,
especially last week, he didn't have one, did he?
Oh, did he go on? I edited it out. 3 hours of just him talking, waffling on about various cake-based delights and a bucket of the Colonel's finest.
On another point, did you know Andrew Fife rode in the boat race?
I wouldn't be fucking so. He's played for an FA Cup winning side.
Yeah.
He has.
And he's a man of the people.
He is.
Hero.
According to Jimmy Trader, he single-handedly runs the Gherkin.
Oh!
And we're not talking about salads here. We're on about the big building in London. He runs it on his own, mainly from the toilet on the 54th floor.
Wheeling and dealing.
Well, he did WhatsApp us a picture once of him sitting on a throne looking out the window at the Shard, or looking out from the Shard onto the Gherkin.
Off of the Shard.
Oh, he's living the fucking dream. I'm so jealous.
And his better half is...
And have you seen his hair? His hair is amazing.
Oh, it is, to be fair.
I think I like him with glasses best.
I do as well.
That's a little bit too far.
But I'm not being funny. Today, he's taken on the Daily Mail and won.
It certainly has. I don't know how much we're allowed to say about that, but he has done another epic deed.
Let's not say too much, but
yeah,
listeners,
he's had words.
Andrew Fyfe, man of the people, hero of the hour. He makes Batman, Superman look like a pair of pussies.
I think that he could take on Chuck Norris and win.
One-handed.
I said it.
I tell you what. I think he'd hand his arse on a plate to him.
And do you know what else, Jace?
What's that, bro?
It's his birthday today.
Happy birthday, Fyfe.
Happy birthday, Fyfe.
Happy birthday,
everyone,
Fyfe.
sweet Fyfe.
Oh dear, it's his 6th one this week.
Oh, I tell you what.
He's that famous.
Yeah,
Should we do some questions?
Yes. Well, I don't know. It's not up to me, is it?
Information. Have you finished off information now?
Yes, I have, sir.
Oh, done. Right, let's questions.
Okie dokie. Right, we have got some really good questions here. We weren't sure if Jace was going to allow us, but then he is. Mark71 AFC. Is that a Fender you're holding or a Strat copy, Dom?
That is, I tweeted him back. That is a proper Fender Stratocaster American Deluxe. It's actually an ash body. Raj will probably know what I'm talking about there.
Raj has probably got 50 of them.
Yeah, he probably does. He's probably
eating cake off of one now. Flicking profiteroles into his gob with a plectrum.
Yes, it is a very nice guitar. Yes. All right.
Okay, Simon Hardwick says, will we win the FA Cup? I say yes, Dom.
Oh, I think it's our best chance at silverware.
Oh, Jace?
I hope so, but I'd rather win the league.
Wouldn't we all? As long as we don't meet Chelsea in the final, we'll win it. Manager bored out. This is he's been a bit of a cheeky monkey. He said some things recently that annoyed Chris, which personally got a round of applause from me.
You don't have to do much to do that.
Let's be fair, okay? That's all you're going to say is Romelu Lukaku's a good player and Chris goes off his head. You know?
Because, I'm not even going to bother. He says, if Wenger was an animal, what would be the best animal to suit his character? I say weasel.
Whoa.
I think he's a cat. I really do. I think he's a cat. I think he's
9 lives.
He's intelligent, and he just walks around saying, you can get fucked, I'll do what I want.
You can feed me and clothe me, but if you're going to get anything back, you can fuck off.
I'm having trouble topping that, so I've got to be honest with you. Yeah, you know...
Bit of a lion.
What's the grumpiest animal I know? Let's just say stubborn. He's a donkey, isn't he? He is a donkey, he just sticks to the same stuff.
Hold on, I just heard everyone say in unison then, all the millions of listeners at home and at home on the tractor, you mean arse, not donkey.
No, I mean donkey, you know what I mean? He'll keep on...
Stop waving your phone.
I saw 2 donkeys have a fight on Lake Titicaca in Copacabana. That was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen.
Lake Titicaca on Copacabana?
Yeah.
I thought Lake Titicaca was up the top.
No, Peru, Bolivia.
Yeah.
Thought I'd share that, though. If you've never seen 2 donkeys fight, you should YouTube it. It's amazing.
How about Jace? He could be a zonkey because he's a rare beast. Do you know what a zonkey is?
A cross between a zebra and a donkey.
See? There you go. Terry Nutkins is alive.
And it will be the zebra as the father.
Yes. Stripes win every time. Right, next question. From Just Another Arse. Now that the ticket pricing issue is sorted, how about lobbying for better referees with all that Premier League money?
Oh, fucking hell. I'm not being funny. It's not been the best year. You go to the Swansea game with a mat. The Dyer not getting sent off. I just don't understand how it happens to us week in, week out. But it's even more...
There probably is a case to say that Premier League wide that the refereeing isn't really as high a standard as it should be. Would that be... I know that we especially, we're all guilty of analysing everything with rose-tinted goggles, and every decision we don't get, we highlight and we go over.
Because we all know
and
better,
analyse.
don't we?
Well, exactly. But I think if you look overall, there's been decisions we've got that maybe we shouldn't. There's been ones where we've gotten away with it. It's been very inconsistent. That's the biggest thing, I think. Coughlin gets sent off and then Dyer doesn't, and you kind of think, well, okay, you're sending off Coughlin for that, right? Fair enough. That's your decision. But then something very similar happens a few minutes later, and it's a different decision. That's the inconsistency that bothers me personally.
But the annoyance is, Dom, okay, and let's get something straight, okay. If we'd have finished our chances in recent games, you wouldn't need.
Oh, you don't hear me whinge about referees because of that. We should have been smashing teams.
But my annoyance is, at the moment, the Amat incident, the Dyer incident. It's right in front of these guys. It's right in front of them. It's
no excuse.
Yeah, it's not like it's everybody makes mistakes. I got no problem. Referees.
Fife doesn't.
Yeah, well, he's perfect, isn't he?
If it was a Spanish or an Italian league, those decisions they hand out the cards, no problem, don't they?
Exactly, but it's right.
They're like a blackjack dealer throwing cards at them.
The Leicester game, the Rambo tackle from Drinkwater, could have been a fucking leg breaker. That was a disgusting. It's
and then the annoyance for me is afterwards where they say, well, I saw it and I didn't think it was appropriate to take action, therefore there's going to be no retrospective action. You go, you serious?
Yeah,
like Debucci against Newcastle.
Yeah. Why can't a referee...
Stoke.
The thing I don't understand is why can't a referee say, you know what, I saw it, but it was out the corner of my eye, it was in real time, and I probably didn't see it well enough. You know what, looking back on that on replay, holy shit, that was terrible. I can't believe I missed that. Yeah, we need to give the guy a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But as soon as they say, well, I saw it, but I didn't decide to take action, then it's like, oh, well, the referee saw it, it's out of our hands.
And I think as well, you see some referees like John Moss, etc., who are fucking prima donnas and who think they are actually the game. They think they're the highlight of the game. And they've kind of forgotten the fans come to watch the players, not the referees.
Yeah, good referee, you won't even notice. That's how you know you've done a good job as a referee.
Yeah. Well, the only other way around it is to have another referee on the pitch and have two linesmen each side and have one behind each goal. Because look at the Benteke one for Liverpool against whoever they were playing, Crystal Palace. The referee said, I didn't see it, the linesman told me, and so I had no choice but to do what the linesman said. Well, how often do they usually ignore the linesman? All the time.
Yeah, but look,
It's rubbish. Two referees on the pitch, there you go, they'll be able to see everything.
I don't know, mate.
Let them take their guide dogs on as well.
Do you think that referees get enough, I don't know what the word is, I mean, when players have a bad game. Yeah, exactly. They go to training, they'd get told what they did wrong and they'd have to improve on it. Do referees have that same thing where someone comes in and says, holy crap, you were terrible?
They do get demoted down to the championship and stuff.
They do. But, it's one of those things.
Are they scared to make decisions in case that happens?
No, because, you look at Saturday, he's happy to send Coughlin off saying, you've given me no choice. Yet he doesn't do exactly the same.
And that's what I'm saying. It just seems that there's the consistency that's the problem. And I think that is league-wide. I genuinely, you don't really hear me complain about referees because I agree with you that if we're playing at our best, referee isn't going to have an impact.
Yeah.
But in saying that, I think that league-wide, from what I've seen, it's been terribly inconsistent.
You look at the Southampton game away. Yes, we were dog shit, but the referee was atrocious that game. It was painful to watch.
Is that the 4-0?
Yeah.
There was two fouls that have led to goals on Ozil himself.
Yeah. And surely, sooner or later, it has to stop. But there you go.
That's one thing that I can sympathise with Arsene about. When he gets up and waves his arms around and gets annoyed, then you can probably see why now, can't you? Because he sees it week in, week out, where he's just...
I wish he'd get that animated when Theo misses an open goal or when we concede a goal.
I don't think it's going to matter, though.
Time to move on, boys. Come on. Next question. Let's rock.
One from... Mr. Raj Patel.
Ooh.
He would have switched off by now.
It's written in chocolate. It says, when is there a, in quotes, right time? I don't know what he's on about. I've forgotten. What is he on about?
Right time, tweet Gato. It's about
all the time.
9 o'clock. 9 o'clock on a Thursday night.
Once your sugar levels drop, 3 or 4, just before you go to bed, pop them under your tongue.
It's always the right time to listen to buy tickets to go to watch the Bootleg Beatles.
Hey, touring the UK now.
on tour constantly.
I'll take that though. I think he's obviously talking. We know what he's talking about with the manager, and Raj likes to sort of poke the issue just a little bit. But this is
he manipulates it, doesn't he?
he likes to just sort of tickle
the master puppeteer.
Yes, he is. But I wanted to entertain that because I think it is a good question. I think it's a little bit like when you ask, soon-to-be parents, how did you know that it was the right time? And they go, well, there's never a right time. And I think that's very similar with changing a manager that's been there so long, is there won't be a right time. All that we've got to hope is that whoever comes in next is prepared to take on what will be an absolutely mammoth task. And you've just got to support whoever it is. And, if this is to be his last season, so be it. If he's there for another season or two, so be it. I really don't care. I know that sounds strange to people, where if you've either got to be on one side or the other, but I'll praise the guy when I think he's done well, and I'll give criticism when I think that he's not done so well. But the manager in versus manager out debate for me is a little bit of a boring one, but that question is interesting. Is there going to be a right time? Probably not. So maybe that's a good way of looking at it for anybody that is hesitant to have the manager leave, is that you go, well, you know what? There's not going to be a right time. You're never going to be ready for him to go if you're not ready for it now.
But let's be fair, okay? It all boils down to perspective as well. If you're one of the guys with the banner, the right time is now, or the right time is,
Some people, the right time was 10 years ago.
Yeah,
but...
exactly, okay? But, you look at his level of consistency over the years, and yes, you can turn around and say, not winning trophies in that time is a negative aspect, but not finishing lower than fourth is bloody impressive. And you can talk about money and what have you. I don't really care.
Well, we don't know the ins and outs. That's the biggest.
Exactly.
That's why I don't give a stuff about the argument personally. Is because we don't know for sure that he has had as much available as what we think he has had available. We don't know that for sure. And so if Stan Kroenke, well, we know that he could have gone and bought somebody in the summertime. Fuck.
Oh yeah, hey. The last two windows, there's no getting away from it. But look, I think it boils down to, it's a matter of perspective. There's never a right time to change a manager, let's be honest, because somebody somewhere's going to be upset. But, I mean, for me personally...
Don't be scared of change is what I would say.
Yeah, exactly. For me personally, I love Arsene Wenger. I fucking adore the man. To see him get abused and called a fraud, I just laugh at it. It's just nonsense, okay? But... he's cooking his own goose at the moment, and for me, if he doesn't win the title this year, then probably the summer's the right time to go. End of the season is the right time to go. But either way, it'll be a sad time. The guy has given his career to this club, and whatever you want to say about how much he gets paid, he could have got paid more elsewhere. Yes, maybe he's been too safe in the job. There are all sorts of ifs and buts about the situation.
Well, Captain Hindsight's wonderful, isn't it? And that's why I don't get drawn into the argument, because hindsight's amazing. We don't know that hindsight, we could have had a new manager 8 years ago and finished out the top 4 8 years in a row like Liverpool.
Exactly.
We could have had a new manager and won the league 6 times by now. Who knows? We don't know. So the argument to me is a little bit pointless. But the argument of is there a right time, I find interesting, because I don't actually think there is ever going to be a right time. So for the people that are out there that are kind of, massive fans of the guy, I understand that. But don't be scared of change, because you don't know that change might not produce something even more special.
Going on about change, going on to the next question. At Guna Greggs, don't know if he works at Greggs, if he does. Can I have your leftovers? He says, if Wenger was to go this year, who do you want to replace him? Now, do you want a minute to think while I give my answer? Or
you go, because I don't care.
Jurgen Klopp. There you go. It's a crazy world. Get him in. I love him.
Pep Guardiola? I genuinely don't know. I mean,
there's not many out there, is there? What about Ancelotti? There's an argument made for him.
He's going to
he's going to Bayern, isn't he? But again, when Arsene Wenger came in, there weren't a massive amount of people who knew about him. Yes, he'd managed at Monaco. Yes, he'd managed in Japan. I'd never really heard of him, when he came in. And look how well he did.
Look at the guy that's taken over from Dortmund. I think that's probably a case.
Tommy Tickles.
A case for us to sort of not be too concerned, because I think that if we're comparing ourselves to clubs around the world, Jurgen Klopp had a very successful time there. He was loved by everybody.
Yeah.
He built that team, and then he had a bit of a stinky season. He went. And I think there would have been a lot of Dortmund fans that maybe thought, was that premature that he left? And then a guy comes in and has done fantastically well. So, and the guy that's come in wasn't a huge name. I think he was reasonably well known in certain areas, but he wasn't a massive name that we think that we need.
He was highly regarded, wasn't he?
He was very highly regarded, but he wasn't, he wasn't Pep Guardiola, Ancelotti status, was he? So that's all I would say is that, look, if he does go, then embrace the change. Don't be scared of it, because
the world's
you
not
don't know what. No, exactly. We'll still tick along.
And when he does go, I for one will be incredibly grateful to the guy. I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. My thoughts on him are my own. I don't. It's my opinion. I couldn't give a shit either way. Okay, but the guy has given me some of the highlights of my life. Watching that invincible season, watching us do the double, watching Tony Adams scoring that goal against Everton, the cup finals, to call him a fraud like some have done, I find absolutely fucking shameful.
If he paid for the trophies that he wins, then maybe he'd spend more money so he can get more money in his own pocket.
Yeah, well, fair enough, not being funny, but look, let's be honest, okay? The guy gets paid X amount of cash because of George Graham's actions. That's the reason.
Wouldn't you be worried that we're going to end up in the same situation as most other teams, and no one is ever going to be able to live up to Wenger?
Yeah, but guess what, Danny? It doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter.
He can't manage forever, can he?
Yeah, and
I'm not saying I want him to stay on forever.
But no matter what happens, I'll still follow the Arsenal. Yeah. It doesn't matter if we're in division, if in the championship. It doesn't fucking matter.
Tickets would be cheaper.
But you don't follow the team because they win. You follow them
that
because
to Man City and Chelsea fans.
Oh yeah, but
they do. Well, used to.
They're montards, aren't they? I just want to watch the Arsenal play.
That's all I care about is getting up and watching the 90 minutes. That's really. I try not to surround myself with too much of the other stuff, because it's usually most of the time a positive experience for me. I don't want to bring negativity into it by arguing about something I have absolutely no control over.
And I don't know when anybody else feels about this, but when Georgie Graham, when it all came out about he got sacked and the bungs and everything, that hurt me. I loved Georgie Graham,
Still do.
Anfield, I still love him, but, he defrauded the club, he defrauded the fans. Fact.
But he was the only one who got caught.
No, it doesn't matter.
They're all at it.
It doesn't matter. He did it. He defrauded you, he defrauded me, he defrauded everybody else, okay? He didn't buy players because they were the right players for the Arsenal. He bought players for his pocket. Fucking end of story, and that's hurt me because I defended him, and it broke my heart when he left. And then Rioch came in. Well, as much as I didn't like Rioch, you still support the club. As much as it hurt to watch Georgie Graham go, you still support the club, don't you?
I remember the day that George Graham got sacked. I remember tweeting how sad I was.
And just remember this. hey, just fuck off. Just remember this, okay? Just remember this. He went on to manage the Spuds.
Boo.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
Yes, right. Next question is going to be Ellis Mel, friend of the pod. He says, what represents a successful season this season? Oh, the double season got me there. And what needs to change if we are unsuccessful this season? God, he's used successful, unsuccessful, and season 3 times. He's like a chef with a season. Seasoning. Yeah, I would say, while you two have time to think, because I've already read the question, winning the FA Cup, finishing top 4, for me, that's a good season. That's the least we should expect.
I'll go next, winning the title. End of.
Yeah, you know what? I've always taken solace in the thought that, Chelsea and City and United to an extent spend so much money. How are we ever going to compete with clubs like that? And yet now we're behind Leicester and fucking Spurs. So I can't use that to make myself sleep better at night. And so I kind of look at this season, and I am massively disillusioned. I don't think I've ever been this frustrated and upset as an Arsenal fan before, because all of the things we've been telling ourselves over the last few seasons are absolutely out the window, because it just shows that if you have a squad of players that truly believe that they're capable of winning the league and go after it and genuinely go out there and go after it, then it doesn't matter what teams spend. And that's what I think that, winning the FA Cup, finishing top four this year would not actually be anything that I'm going to be. I mean, obviously, you celebrate the FA Cup, absolutely. But the last 2 seasons, I was much happier with those results than I would be this season, because this season to me seems like just a massive, massive disappointment. And like I've said earlier, that we have shat the nest. It's not been City and Chelsea playing lights out football, spending a shit ton of money that stopped us from winning the league. We've done that to ourselves this year. And as far as what we can do to change that, I don't know. I mean, can you get in the players' heads and tell them to stop playing like a bunch of fannies? Because that's what they're doing. They're not going out there trying to win the league. They're not going out there going after it. They're going out there trying to not lose.
Yeah, but let's be honest, Kate. It's the same thing time and time again. We do the same thing against.
I don't think we have, Jace. I mean, you look at this. But look at this season though. With the top 4 teams, we struggled so much in seasons gone by to beat the big boys. That's what's cost us this season, though. We've got a fantastic record against the top teams. And yet we're still third.
No, my point is slightly different. We always screw up against Swansea. We always screw up against Southampton. We always screw up against Chelsea. And we always screw up against Man United. Now, Man United have been dog shit this season. Chelsea have been dog shit this season. Swansea, dog shit. Southampton, not great, okay?
That's what I mean. The mentality of the players goes out there and they feel the way that we feel. In the WhatsApp group before Man United, I said, we'll lose this. We'll Arsenal this up.
But we capitulate against the same teams year in, year out. And I'm sorry, okay, as much as it would be a great achievement to win the FA Cup 3 times on the bounce, and it would be a fantastic achievement, you buy one outfield player in 2 transfer windows when you've got all this money in the transfer kitty. You believe that's his squad playing. That's his squad. Those are his players. He trusts them. And, for all as he cannot change things around the pitch, he should have bought players who can influence more. Mikel Arteta getting a new contract was a joke, okay?
Even Rosicky, as much as I love the guy, I absolutely love the guy. He didn't want to be there.
Coughlin not having a proper backup was a joke. And even though when he's been out, we've beaten Man City with Matt Flam there, and I love Matthew Flamini. I fucking adore the guy because he's the epitome of fight. We needed better players. And don't tell me there were no better players out there in either transfer window, because it's bollocks, okay?
So I earlier was going on about hindsight and how it's a wonderful thing, but this wasn't hindsight, was it? We all saw this coming. And that's the frustration, is that he's made his bed and he's going to have to answer the critics because of it. And but at the end of the day, he can still sit there and we could all still sit here and go, you know what? That team was good enough to win without buying anybody.
He's absolutely...
As much as he's right, he's also wrong, because I wouldn't leave it in that. I wouldn't... That's such a gamble. For everyone that says that he doesn't like taking risks, I think, when it comes to buying players, I think he's more than happy to take a risk when it comes to not buying players, which is even more of a gamble, because it's backfired hugely that a couple of injuries and a bit of, a few players out of form, and you're out of options already.
But the truth of the matter is, Dom, okay, this squad may have been good enough to win a title, and it's certainly got the capability, okay, but they're not doing it at the moment. And like I say, for me, the only thing for a successful season this year is winning the title. We've still got 9 games to go. It's still all there to play for. 89, we were out of it at times, okay? We'd won it as well, we'd almost won it at one point. Then we screwed it up. Then we came back and won it in the last minute of the season, right? So, there's always hope. Okay, you've got to believe.
We're in the race, but it's almost like trying to outrun a fart on a treadmill. It's a race that you're not likely to win.
but we can't be as bad. Surely we cannot be as bad as we have been for the last few couple of months.
Yeah, but
we
I've been
can't.
saying that week after week, Jace.
Well, look.
I mean, the signs in the last two games have been slightly better. You know, we've shown a little bit. We've had some shots. The biggest thing is just not converting goals.
No,
we've not been converting goals. And I know that people say, well, we need that. You know, what about getting the big name striker in the summer? That'd be nice. But these are guys that have scored goals before. It's not like they don't know how to do it. They're just, unfortunately, everybody's having trouble in front of goal at the moment.
No, look, to me, we've got to win the title. It's still on. We've got to show some backbone, and we've got to go for it. Simple.
I mean, it sounds really, I don't know, spoilt, doesn't it, to say that if we win the FA Cup, we wouldn't be happy. I mean, I'd be super, super excited and it'd be fantastic, but I'd be a little hollow, I think is the best way to explain it, if we didn't win the league.
It sounds awful, doesn't it? It sounds awful, but...
You were talking about seasons that are terrible. Now, I've just had a look up. I remember our 94-95 season, and when we were making our Cup Winners' Cup run, which for people that are a bit young, it means if you won your country's FA Cup, you went into the Cup Winners' Cup, which was between the Champions League and the UEFA Cup. With 9 games to go that season, we had won 1 game out of 7. We'd lost the other 6, and with 9 games to go, we were 14th.
Yeah.
And that was only 6 points above relegation. Chelsea were below us, and bottom of the league, Leicester.
Yeah.
There you go. Now I remember that season really well. That was George Graham's last season. We were falling apart. We managed to get to the cup final, the Cup Winners' Cup final, and ended up losing it because the season before we'd been in the Cup Winners' Cup final, and the season before that we'd won the league and FA Cup double. But yeah, that's I remember things like that. And then I'm just looking at the in 33 games we'd scored 36 goals, which is unbelievable, terrible. That was the bad times.
Yeah, they were. You know, I mean, the big pre Georgie Graham was bloody awful. You know,
I don't really remember that.
Oh,
the Don Howe days.
I have vague memories, and Don Howe, a great coach. You know, unfortunately passed away this year.
Departed.
Yeah, God save Don Howe. He's a great guy. But
God ain't going to save him now.
No, well, you never know.
Look after him while he's up there. All right.
Let's hope so. But you know, it seems petulant. It seems petty not to think of winning the FA Cup as a marvelous, wonderful thing. But this season is just, and the lack of ambition in the transfer windows, it leaves me hollow.
That's exactly how I feel, Jace. It's just, I mean, like I said, we've got to average a point more per game than the people above us to be ahead with 9 games to go. Not impossible, very improbable. Like I said to you when we were spoken before, I kind of lost hope a couple of weeks ago now, and I've just sort of been, as silly as it sounds, I'm actually just hoping the season hurry up and come to a close, because I just cannot see a situation in which we turn it around all of a sudden and make some epic run to the final. I think we're more likely to finish 4th than we are finish 1st. Where if Man City win their game in hand, we're in 4th place.
Yeah. But look, come on. I know you're looking at it in a logical point of view, but sport's never been about that. Sport's about, when you get kicked, you get back up. You keep on going. You keep on believing. You keep on, pushing it and pushing it and pushing it.
Sounds like a Salt and Pepper song.
But you push through the line. You push through the line, okay?
We tell the players that.
Your first tackle's got to be the hardest tackle you've ever made, and the last tackle of the game has got to be the hardest tackle you've ever made. That's the rules in sport. You don't give up. You cannot shit out of it. You cannot. And these guys, it's about time they showed some fucking backbone. They repaid the faith that the fans show in them, that the manager shows in them. So I tell Arsene Wenger, just got a grip.
Well, there was a secret meeting, wasn't there? Did you hear about the secret meeting?
Oh, yeah. You know what? Okay. The secret meeting. Oh, I couldn't give a fuck. I think
it sounds a bit silly, doesn't it?
Yeah, I want to see them deliver on the pitch. Oh, you had a secret meeting. Oh, what are you, fucking Harry Potter in his fucking room? Fuck off. Just fucking turn up on a fucking match day.
It does seem crazy to me that, sorry to dampen your little rant there, Jay.
Sorry, pal.
You're going to fucking have an epileptic fit in a minute.
pains me.
I know, but a Premier League
Did you say ping or
footballer,
pain?
a professional footballer that needs to be like, this is the other thing. Oh, maybe Arsene can't motivate the players. Are you telling me that all that needs to be done to win the league is just to yell and scream at everybody for 10 minutes before they go out to play? They're going to go out there and win, and that's all you need to do as a coach? It's obviously, if it was that easy to motivate the players and to tell them, hey, go out there and try hard, please. I don't know if you were not going to do that or not today. Maybe you were going to go out there and just kick the ball around for 90 minutes. But, hey, I think you should actually try really hard. Oh, really? Shit. Okay, let's do that. It's a little bit ridiculous to me that professional footballers constantly need reminding to go out there and try.
But let's be honest.
I don't know what it is, but it just seems to me that it's just a squad of players that collectively, as a unit, are going out there and shitting the nest.
Yeah, but let's be honest, okay? Sport is ridiculous, okay? You chase a little ball around, okay, for however many minutes, but no matter what you're playing, okay? You get paid mega money to do it. People, idiots like us, live and die on every game, okay? It physically pains me. It makes me sick at times watching us, okay? And, people threaten each other on social media. We make up banners. We say the stupidest
podcasts.
things. Yeah, we do podcasts. We write blogs about it. It is fucking ludicrous. But hell, it doesn't half bring some excitement to life, does it? It's worth every moment.
You're going to shut up now because we're nearly going 2 hours.
Oh,
I've got
sorry.
2 more quick questions. Tone, who is at T50Red, is brilliant. If the panellists could unfurl a banner at the Emirates, what would it say?
Osgooner in.
Mine would say Osgooner out. Jace? Carpenter out.
No.
My other banner says something sensible.
What would it say? A banner at the Emirates.
Yours would say
Mine
Ramsey
would say
to
happy
score.
birthday, 5.
Mine would say no more banners.
Oh, banners. Lovely.
Banners, that's it.
This is one from Carl from our radio, the ABW radio, which is on 15 to 20 minutes after every every game we play. Bloody hell! He says, "Will there ever be harmony amongst the Arsenal fan base?" Dom, because you had a chuckle about this earlier.
No, of course there won't, because like we've discussed before, that sport's one of those things that we all have our. OG brought it up in one of our groups before. We all have our own secret relationship with Arsenal, and it's going to be different from person to person, and different things will affect your emotions in different aspects of that relationship. So there's never going to be everybody agreeing and harmony, because what you feel towards the club, you genuinely believe to be truth. And so if anybody else feels something slightly differently, then that's where you have disagreements. And that's why, I think that we should all just go, fair enough, and move on. As soon as you find something or hear something that you don't agree with, you don't need to retweet it. You don't need to have a whinge or a moan about it. You just go, and move on.
Let's be fair, okay? In every family, there's always a cunt. It's just the way the world. The Gooner family died a long time ago. I don't know. It's all a bit daft, I'm not be. I love being a Gooner. You don't have to like everyone, do you? Who cares?
There you go. And
by the way, none of my family like me either. It's great.
Lovely. One quick one, because this is an interesting one. Neil Taplin says, who would you like to see leave the club in the next transfer window? So Dom asked him, who would you want? He said, Wilshere, Croc, Theo, no final ball, Ramsey, injury prone, and Mertesacker, no pace and liability. While you lot are thinking about that, I would say it's going to have to be Chesney. I don't trust him. I want him out the club as soon as possible, rather than him coming back trying to get his place back. Because for me, Ospina is a much better, reliable goalkeeper. I'd say Theo for the same reason. He's just 10 years of abject failure. He had the ability to do so much more. Sell him while we can get some money from him. He's not worth 130 grand a week. The fact that he's on the same money as Ozil and Sanchez is an absolute fucking disgrace. And as for a third one, that's a little bit harder. I can't think maybe the Ox, because the Ox is never going to get to play in the Ozil hole, because whenever he's had the chance, he's always played Iwobi there instead, and I think that's the Ox's best position. And yeah, I think the Ox, I don't want him to go. I want him to stay and be brilliant, but he's never going to be, is he?
The Mertesacker thing always intrigues me with people, where they, he is what he is. He's not lost pace. He's always been the same one speed type of player. But Koscielny, Gabriel are culpable of making mistakes that have led to goals just as many times as Mertesacker has. I think that he's become the new scapegoat back there. Monreal was for a while. Then he decided that, we all decided that he was a fantastic player, and now Mertesacker just seems to be every time we concede a goal that people point at him. But I've seen Koscielny make just as many mistakes this season, where he's turning away from. Koscielny's turned away from shots and that have led to goals twice early in the season. We all forget about. He goes sliding in on the sideline and then Leicester get a penalty. Mertesacker does the exact same thing against Monaco and everyone wants to hang him for it. But, maybe we definitely need another centre-half in the summertime, I think, just to fill out the numbers a bit. But, yeah, I don't get the Mertesacker one. Theo, he can go if we go and get somebody of top quality to come in. But Ramsey, no. Why the hell you would sell that guy, I do not understand.
I tell you what, okay, sorry, mate, but that's just the daftest thing I've heard in my life.
Oh, Jason being polite. Excellent.
Anyway,
come on.
That's me.
Get on with it.
Rosicki, Arteta, Flamini. Rosicki and Arteta because they've got free bus passes down to pensioners, and they were stupid signings, re-sign them anyway. And Matt Flam, I love you, Matt Flam. I fucking adore you, bro. But it's time.
But his versatility.
Thanks for the memories, Flamini, but it's time to say goodbye.
Yeah.
Where's your banner, Flamini?
Yeah. But look, come on, look. Okay, he's reached the pinnacle this season. Okay, he did well against Man City, against Tottenham in the Caps One Cup. He scored an absolute blinder.
Plus his contract is up and he always goes at the end of his contract.
And more to the point, though.
Never gets sold.
More to the point, okay, there are better players out there available, okay? There are better players out there available. So, I love Matt Flam, but, we need more athletic. He goes with my thanks again.
Okay, we need to do predictions, Mr. Davis.
Which game are we going with?
Watford and Barca. I need to do both. I've gone Watford 3-1 Giroud. Jace?
Watford 3-0 Ozil. Mind you, by the time he started scoring, isn't it?
Well, he's had a nice one the other day where he hit it 100 mile an hour and it went in, top corner. And Barca?
I think we're going to go out there and we're going to win 3-1 with Ollie Giroud to open the scoring, and we're going to go through and put those dirty bastards out. Those tax-dodging shitbags.
I've gone 4-1. We're going to score the first goal to give us some false hope. Messi's going to score. Actually, that's not right, is it? Because we're going to score the first goal. No, I'm not. I'm not going to go that. We're just going to beat us 4-1 Messi. I tried to put some logic in there and failed miserably. Dom, Watford.
Logic? No. You don't come charging up the table of our predictions with logic, Danny. I'm going to go Ospina 1-0 against Barcelona. I think he's going to just lob one. I've never seen him kick over a jam jar, let alone the halfway line, but somehow he's going to boot the ball into the net.
What did you predict for Hull? Was it 15-0 to them?
Yep. Yeah, I think I might.
Get on with that?
Well, it looked likely at the start there, but they decided they didn't want to play. Who we got? Watford. At home. I'm going to go with Monreal ankle in the second half.
Oh, there you go. Dom knows. And we're just under. Oh, I think we might just be on the 2 hours, Jace. It's terrible. Oh, again, we did restart this 5 times.
Yeah, we can edit it.
In all fairness, okay, if it wasn't for Raj Patel interrupting, okay, we'd have been fine. He
never knows when to shut up, does he?
Okay, guys, it's time now for shout-outs. Daniel, would you like to go first?
Yeah, mine is going to go out to someone. I'm not going to say his name because he asked me not to. But we said something in the extras last week, and it kind of upset him. And it didn't upset him. It just made him go, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" So he knows who he is. I'm not going to say who it is, but yeah, little nod from me.
I think I know who that is.
No, don't say.
He's a good guy.
He is a bloody good guy.
Is it me?
No,
it is you.
It's not you. Right, Dom.
My shout-out's going to the guy that asked me about my guitar. good spot. On my little profile picture, he's spotted that. So that's at Mark71AFC. Thanks for paying attention and showing some interest.
Right, okay. Mine is from, on behalf of all of us here at Bergkamp Wonderland. The lady probably doesn't listen to the podcast, but it's to Ocursus at OCCURSUS1. We've retweeted from a personal account, and I think Danny's going to retweet from the ABW account.
I will.
Her son at Milo Kelly was a huge Arsenal fan and sadly passed away 3 weeks ago, aged 22. Please mention him at match. You know, there's more to life than football. It's terribly sad when anybody loses anyone in their family. You know, our thoughts go out to the lady and her family, and we wish them all the very best. That's it. That's a wrap. That's your lot. I'm sorry if we've bored you senseless. I'm sorry if we've spoken bollocks for 2 hours. But then again, if you're gonna listen to us talk shit, it's your own fault. Okay, this has been a Bergkamp Wonderland. Thank you very much for listening. You are superb. Take care. TTFN. Daniel, do your nanu nanu.
Nanu nanu, Mr. Davis.
Dom, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Take care, all. Ta-da. And that's a wrap.
Yes.
I enjoyed that.
Good. It was very good.
I tell you what, mate, you boys, we can't half talk some shit. Okay, Tottenham lose 3-0. Hey. Right, okay. Ready, lads?
Ready.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Bring it on. 1, 2, 3. Hello and welcome to a Bergkamp Wonderland. My name's Jason and tonight I'll be your host. Unfortunately, Mr. Gimli has gone down with what he calls a case of the man flu. But I think it's a case of swine flu. What the fuck is going on in the background?
I'm trying to cast a fucking mute, you shit. I'm trying to change the game on my phone to cast the Liverpool game rather than watching Spurs lose in humiliation.
Bit of professionalism, please. Danny goes a long way.
Fuck's sake.
Danny, you silly cunt.
I know.
I'm not being funny. That was straight off the top of the head. I was flying there. My notes are exactly 8 words for this. Okay, and I was on cooking on gas then, and you've gone and bent me over the table and fucked me like Dortmund.
That's because I was trying to put a stream the Liverpool game.
Hey, Dortmund just fucked Liverpool. Tottenham. Okay. I'm not happy with you, Danny.
Well, the game's now on. I'm now Chromecasting it to the telly, and I'm going to watch Liverpool and Man United in an 8-8 draw.
Danny,
Yes.
Danny,
Yes.
You're on the fucking naughty step.
Sorry.
Okay, behave yourself.
I know.
I'm not being funny. Okay, it won't be fucking Wenger out. It'll
No.
be fucking Danny out. Okay.
And I heard Gimli's dead. He isn't ill. You've killed him. You fed him to the piggies.
Not yet.
No. Good.
No.
Am I even officially here yet? Have you introduced me?
No.
Shut up.
We're going again.
Are
We're
we?
going again. Yeah. I am not having that. I am not having that.
Oh, Jesus.
Bastard.
Right.
Oh, here he is. All right, here we go.
Yes.
Okay, you ready? 1, 2, 3. Hello and welcome to Bergkamp Wonderland. We're an Arsenal podcast. Oh, fuck that. That went down the fucking toilet.
This could be an hour on its own.
Honestly, I think I might go for the fag now. you just fucked me over, bro. You've really put it. I'm going to have a fag. I'll be back now. Talk amongst yourselves for 2 minutes. I'll be back now.
Oh, he's had a Diva strop. We've ruined his mojo.
I can't work under these conditions.
Oh, no.